Alrighty guys, we are going to get started here in just a moment with the Avorion live stream. We're going to give people a few more minutes to show up before we dive in. I do plan to upload this on YouTube, so if you're hearing this part, it's because you are watching it back on YouTube. This won't actually be in the live stream. But yep, this is what I look like. Nice balding, little beard. You can see my dog in the background. Well, right over there. She's taking a nap like a good pup. I don't know. I felt like streaming some Avorion today just because we can show you kind of how I play the game. I want to start a new galaxy. I mean, I could probably beat the one that we've got the series for on our LD7 playthrough. I've done a little bit on this, just kind of building more stations and stuff, but in all honesty, I like the initial grind of this game more than anything else. We've got a bunch of ship templates and all that noise too, so building stuff is going to be fun. Anyway, guys, I hope you're looking forward to the stream. We're going to get started here real soon and kind of just create a new game, so I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff kind of set up. So I guess we can start the stream and just let people kind of join in. But anyway, so there we are. The stream has officially started. Welcome. If you are new to Lone Debater 7's channel, be sure to check us out on YouTube. Just search for Lone Debater 7 on YouTube. We've got a bunch of content, bunch of Avorion, bunch of Minecraft, bunch of Factorial, bunch of games. You should be able to find something entertaining for you, hopefully. Just check it out if you have some time and want to watch some good gaming content. Today, I want to go ahead and start a new galaxy with Avorion. So I guess we'll just call this Avorion live stream. If I can tab back in. Sure, why not? I guess that's a reasonable name for our save file. As far as the seed goes, I think we're gonna go all 7s just for funsies. There we go. Full 7s. I don't know what that's going to do, but if you want to play the same galaxy, just type all 7s into your seed up there and it should be the same. We played on normal for our YouTube series, so I think we're going to go to veteran. I mean, I am a veteran of Avorion, I would say. I've got a little over 100 hours kind of logged in the game, so should be able to handle this, I would hope. If not, well, I guess that's life. So anyway, we've kind of got the game set up. I'm going to give a few more minutes for people to kind of show up. I posted on YouTube that we were going to start in about 10 minutes, about 5 minutes ago, so we'll give about 5 minutes until we get started. Gives me some time. I can drink my drink and, kind of get ready for some Avorion, one of my favorite games in all honesty. If you like space sandbox sim games, Avorion is definitely one you should check out. Totally worth it. I don't know if it's still early access or not. Either way, it's totally worth, I think it's like $20, something like that on Steam. Totally worth the $20. In my opinion, this is a game that never really gets boring for me, so that's why I chose it for a live stream today. Anyway, guys, get my drink, get my vapey vape going, and we're gonna have some fun. Now, in case you're coming in a little bit late or you're not able to make the live stream, I am going to post this up on YouTube. It'll probably be a few days later just because it's going to be, in theory, a fairly large video file. So, yeah, it'll take a while to kind of get it edited out the way I want. And in addition to that, actually uploading it will take a little bit of time. I mean, I've got decent internet, I guess, but still, when you start trying to upload stuff that's longer than an hour, you kind of, it takes a while. Let's just say that. So I'm looking forward to this. We'll see kind of what happens, but anyway, I'm hoping that you guys enjoy this live stream and enjoy watching us play a little bit of Avorion. And if you got questions, just drop them down in the chat. I've got that open up on my end. I haven't been able to figure out how to get it to stream across the window for you guys to view with my recording software. That's just me being a fucking noob or whatever with this, but no worries. I am monitoring it, so you can definitely drop some messages in chat and I will do my best to respond. Let's see. I kind of want to add one other thing to this if I can. I'm going to throw up their stats. There we go. All right. So we'll see kind of how this goes. We're going to go ahead and generate the galaxy, I suppose, and kind of get started. So blah, blah, blah. You will not play online. Yeah, no shit. This game is kind of weird how it launches. It kind of like puts a server or a private server for the game. So you need internet connection to play, which is kind of the only downside with this one. But anyway, it should be fine. Like I said, my internet's not too bad. Granted, I am uploading stuff in the background and streaming and trying to play a networked-based game. So we'll see. Hopefully my bandwidth can handle it. It should. I mean, it's just me, so whatever. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. I don't know. I've done one live stream in the past for World of Tanks. I don't know if you check that out, great. If not, it's somewhere on my YouTube channel. You can find it, I guess. And that was kind of fun, just because you're able to kind of play straight through, as opposed to having to stop and start and make all these stupid episodes and shit like that. But if you're new to the game of Avorion, you start out in this little droney boy. You've got 10,000 credits and no resources. So the first thing you want to do is find some iron, asteroids, and kind of mine them out. So I guess we will go ahead and get started on that and see what we can do. Now with this, in the past when I've played Avorion, I've never really utilized the alliance function of the game, which if you're familiar with the game is apparently the way you're supposed to play it. I don't know. It decreases the amount of founding costs when you add more ships. Once you reach a certain level, you need the endgame materials to found the ships, which can become expensive. I've never really seen that as an issue necessarily, just because you can buy like 500 Ogonite, for example, is not that expensive. You get, like, at least in my other game, I have a fuck ton of Ogonite. I haven't hit Avorion quite yet for the founding costs, so I mean, I guess 500 Avorion's kind of shitty if you have to spend that, but even so, like 500 of whatever resource isn't that expensive in my opinion. So we'll see though. We might try to actually build like the Alliance of Lone Debater 7 or something like that, and try to utilize the Alliance piece. So first things first, find one of these little asteroids. It's got iron inside of it, so harvest her up, get some resources. And with this one, it auto gives you the resources. Later on, we can get lasers that don't, and you have to refine it, but that'll be a little bit. So starting off, you want to get enough resources so you can upgrade out of this drone and build like an actual ship. Like I said earlier, I've got a bunch of ship templates that are just saved, and I've developed over a few playthroughs and a few game saves and stuff like that. So I plan on kind of using those, just because just designing the ships takes a lot of time. And the designs I have at least are functional. They're not the most beautiful things in the world. I will say that people make way better looking ships than I do, but they work. They get the job done, more or less. So we're going to go harvest up this guy as well, I think, and then we're going to see about getting our ship built. Anyway, should be fun. I don't know. I like Avorion. It's a good space game, in my opinion. A lot of really good physics, a lot of like min-max stuff you can do with it, and a lot of customizability, in all honesty. Like, there's so many different ways you can play this game, so just because I'm doing something doesn't mean you have to do it the same way. And you might find a better way or something like that, and that's totally fine. Anyway, so we've got 1800 iron. Let's get one more, I think. I forget how much I need for my first ship. It's like a couple thousand, I want to say, so I think one more asteroid should put us about where we want to go. I did notice a secret stash is what it looked like, just up above this asteroid, so we're going to go grab that too. It'll either give us credits turret system, something good, which is useful when you're first starting off because you don't have anything. So all the turrets are useful for you at this point in the game. Same with the systems, and credits are good too, just because you don't have a lot. I did notice a claimable asteroid, or what looks to be a claimable asteroid, off in the distance, so we're going to see if it is a claimable asteroid, and if so, we're going to go grab it and sell it so we can get a little bit of money to hire off our starting crew and buy some turrets and stuff, because there is an equipment dock in this sector. So hopefully that will work out the way we want. Anyway, there we go. Got our asteroid grabbed, and the secret stash is right here. So these are good. They're scattered throughout. There's systems you can grab that will tell you if there's one in the system or whatever. So it makes it a little bit easier to find. We won't be able to get one of those for a while. But we got a whole polarizer and 34,000 credits. So that's actually decent, I guess. So where is... There's a refinery that's 13. I kind of want to go to the equipment dock, but that's pretty far away. So I think we're just going to head back over to this refinery because we're going to need to hire crew starting off. So if you go to these stations, you can hire crew to staff your ship once it's built. And there is a ship dock or shipyard in this sector, so in theory you could, you know, spend some money and have them build you a ship. But I prefer using my own templates. They're better, typically speaking, than what I can grab on this end. So anyway, guys, but let's go ahead, fly back over, and we're going to build our ship once we get a little bit closer, just because when you don't have the full crew on the ship, it, you know, makes it a little bit harder for you to fly around. You move slower and what have you. Whereas with the drone, you don't have a crew requirement and stuff. So anyway, oh, we got found the first ship. Found ship. LD7 Mark 1. Here we go. Yeah, my M key on my keyboard is jack, so that's why we got this. So you need 500 iron to even get started and build the ship. We get 4 crew included with this, apparently, so that's kind of nice. But let's go into our save designs, and I gotta find our iron ship, which I should have. Should, I say. Let's see if that's actually the case. So, nothing in there. Cap ships, don't care about. Guess maybe it's in autosaves? Yeah, that seemed to be a big one. So, nope, that's got titanium on it. These are all asteroids for stations. I mean, I guess we could just build a really shitty ship to get us around. So let's do this. We'll go ahead, and this is our titanium miner. So it does have titanium on it. I think we can set it all to iron, though. So let's try that. 2,600 iron. So we don't quite have enough iron, unfortunately. So we are going to hop out into our drone. You can leave the ship by pushing T, and that will give you your drone. So I think if we harvest this asteroid, we'll get enough. Then we can go back into that little block and build it out the way we want. It's not a big deal. If we didn't have to pay the founding costs, we probably would have been just fine on the amount gathered. So I've kind of forgot that you have to pay the founding cost even for your first ship, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. Like, they shouldn't charge you for your first ship, but that's fine. Not a big deal. Grab one more asteroid, and I think it said 2622 if I'm not mistaken, so we should have enough. We'll get a little extra, obviously, because I like to clear out the asteroids if I'm going to mine it. It's kind of just the way it is. So we can enter the ship from afar, which is good. I'm going to set this don't show again and close it out because I don't really need the tooltips. But let's go in. We're going to use this titanium miner design. We're going to change it to iron, transform unavailable blocks to hull, and we're going to add this bad mama. Oh, whoops, not what I wanted to do. So there we go. We got our little shippy poo right here. With that being said, it doesn't generate enough energy, so we probably need to chop off a couple of engines, which is fine. We can do that real quick. and just have something basic. So there we go. Dropping off those 4 engines, or, you know, 6 engines rather, allows us to fly this. The reason why this is the way it is because we don't have the ability to kind of set up generators and stuff. But there we are. We've got our first ship. Kind of fun. It looks a little jank because we've got kind of, you know, these random holes chilling inside of it. So we're going to put our turrets on. So we want mining turrets. So I'm going to put 2 mining turrets on. And then we can add in a chain gun. So we'll do that as well, just so we have a little bit of defense. If we go back in, we need 4 miners, so we're going to have to hire 3 miners. That's fine. And then I'm going to go in and assign these to my key groupings. So 2 for the miners, 1 for the attacking turret. So there we are. If we go to this station, we should be able to buy the miner, or the 3 miners that we need. So once you get close enough, you can tractor beam by holding F, and go in and grab some crew. And I don't know if I'm gonna like narrate the entire time. Just a heads up on that. If you're wanting to learn how to play the game or whatever, check out my Avorion series on YouTube. It's got like literally a really good guide, or well, effectively a really good guide on kind of how to get started with Avorion and what you should be prioritizing, how to progress through and all that. So now that we've got our ship, it goes a little bit faster than our drone. You want to watch your energy bars, obviously, so you don't run out of power. But we are going to fly over in this direction, because I want to check out the equipment dock. But there is... so this guy right here is a claimable asteroid. So we can go over, claim it, and then sell it. And that will give us probably a couple, or maybe 150k of credits, which will be useful. Then we can fly down to the equipment dock and buy some stuff if they've got good turrets or systems or what have you. I would like to get a generator system, if at all possible, just because, as you can see, like, we've run out of power. So yeah, that would it would be nice to have a generator system, just because this, and the reason why this ship is so garbage right now is because you need to get some titanium mined up before you can build generators. So yeah, we're limited on how fast this thing can move and how much stuff we can put on it, but that's okay, not the end of the world. And we get this little text thing saying buy a reconstruction token, but I'm pretty sure that we start out with one because this is a new ship and we haven't destroyed it yet. Now I am playing with full collision damage. Basically what that means, if we run into stuff, it'll damage our ship, so you want to avoid the asteroids, like don't smash into them if you're playing full collision damage. You can change that setting midway through the game, so like if at some point that gets annoying to us, we can either lower it down or we can turn it off completely. It just kind of depends on, you know, what we want to do. Normally though, especially starting off, like I'm okay playing full collision damage. I'm used to it because that's how I've pretty much always played. It makes it way more realistic because obviously if you're flying in space, like if you smash into something, you're probably gonna die. So I kind of like having that element in the game. Makes it a little more realistic, all things considered. So we're gonna turn off our guns. Maybe that will help our regen a little bit. Anyway, so we're going 252 meters per second, so it's a little bit slower than the drone. That's our right. Once we kind of refill our energy bar here, we should be able to boost again, and that'll get us going faster. Hopefully there's a titanium asteroid over here, because even if it's just a small one, it'll give us enough, hopefully, that we can put a generator block on this, and that will help with the power issue we're having. Then we can, you know, kind of boost at least, and maybe add the engines back in and stuff like that. If not, that's okay too. We might have to warp a system over. Just kind of depends. I haven't looked at the map yet, so I don't know where we're at relative to the center of the galaxy, but we're going to be on the outer edge. That's always the same. Anyway, let's go take a look. Let's see what happens. I think there might be a titanium asteroid down here. Like, I think that's, yeah, that's a titanium one. So we can go mine that after we claim this asteroid, which will be good because we do start out with 2 iron level mining lasers. Like, you can mine the resource tier above what the laser level is, so that'll be good. Ugh, this is so slow, so awful. Like, I can't wait to put a generator block on this ship. Oh my god. Like, ugh, I forget how slow the game starts out because I haven't played a new game on this for a while, but it's alright. It'll get fun really soon and things will pick up, don't worry. Hopefully we'll get into some combat and stuff. I want to get some better turrets before we do that, and hopefully get a little bit of shields. Like, if I can upgrade to one of my Neonite ships, then we can kind of fly around and do some combat, gather some turrets and everything. Because if nothing else, we can sell those turrets for some more money, because starting off, you kind of want to, or at least the way I play, I try to hit about 10 million credits when I first start. That way I can build a mine, a gold and platinum mine, which will generate some money for you. So here we are, we claim this. Then if we sell the asteroid, we'll get 84k. Great. I'm just looking around to see if there's a titanium asteroid that's a little bit closer. So there is one right here. So we will fly over to this boy right here. And we still can't boost, but that's alright. Not the end of the world. And it looked like when we turned on our turrets, that puts us over our energy limit. So I don't know how effective this is going to be, but hopefully we can at least mine out this little asteroid here and at least get enough titanium to build a generator block. So, I mean, typically speaking, you get between like 500 and 1,000 ore per asteroid. It depends on the size and stuff like that, but that's generally what you get. I think the smallest block you can make is 250, so we have more than 250, so we can definitely put like the smallest size generator block possible on this ship if we want. I'm just going to go ahead and get this kind of mined up. Now, what would probably be the wisest move is to just gather up like a couple thousand titanium and use the titanium miner template that I've got. But just to make that go a little bit faster, I am going to throw a generator block onto this hunk of metal. So we have a little bit more. So here we go. How much? I've got 720. So let's close this out. And I can build these, so give us a little bit of power anyway. So I'm out of titanium already, which kind of sucks, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and delete that one, I think. But we did increase our power a fair amount, so that is good. I guess what we can do is maybe put a couple engines back in. So just kind of fill this a little bit. We're going to need more crew, but that's fine. We can pick some up at the equipment dock. So there we go. This should move a fair amount faster. We need one engineer. So what I'm going to do is just take out one of the gunners and put him as an engineer. Because if you don't have your engineers fully staffed, your ship will slowly take damage, and I don't really want to deal with the ship kind of imploding because I don't have enough stuff engineer-wise. So let's just scroll out a little bit so I can see what's going on. Where's some more titanium? Because I think we need about 2,000, 2,500, something like that, to upgrade this to the actual template that uses titanium. So getting that is kind of one of our priorities. I thought there was more titanium asteroids, but apparently not. Okay, fine. Where is the equipment dock? We'll just go over there. see what they got. Well, I guess we can check what they've got from afar. So system-wise, they do have a turret control system, so that is kind of a juicy one. 3 unarmed turrets, +1 if you permanent install it. This is one or the other. So we could maybe pick up those. We could get this mining system, wouldn't be bad either. Double iron. Yeah, let's fly over there and kind of pick up some stuff. I think it's going to be worth our time. As you can see, we go a lot faster now because we have those extra engines, and our energy can actually keep up a little bit because we added in those generator blocks. So it was worth mining that titanium before flying over here. Sometimes you get lucky and the titanium's right by where you spawn in. Sometimes you don't, and you have to kind of fly over to an asteroid. Just depends. In this one we had to fly over, so not the end of the world. Just yeah, kind of figured that was going to happen. So there we go. Seriously, screw you. Like, I hate that about this. Like, you're docked and then your ship reorients and it undocks you. Like, that's the dumbest thing ever, in my opinion. But we're gonna buy these upgrades. Oh, I did want the mining system, so I'm gonna buy that. We could get the I think we're gonna get the object detector as well, just because that allows you to determine if there are what do you call it, claimable asteroids in the sector, right? So that's worth getting. Outside of that, I guess, like, getting this salvaging laser is probably worthwhile if we're going to do some combat. This turret's not that great. This one's a little bit better. This one, not really, so... I'm not really impressed with the turrets here, so I'm just going to leave it. But if we go in... Let's go ahead and take a look at our systems real fast. So we've got 3 slots. I want to put in this object detector. Well, maybe. Fine. Go this way then. Why won't you let me select you? Weird. Okay, there's the mining system anyway. There's that. And then, yeah, we'll put on this turret control as well. So that did increase our power usage, so if we go back into the build menu, yeah, we need to add a little bit more power to this. So let's just take a little bit more titanium and build a small generator block. Doesn't have to be anything super fancy, realistically speaking. Like, that's probably enough just on its own. We can add a second one though, so we will. Just to give us a little buffer. Like, it's good to have a little bit of a buffer on your power. Otherwise, you're going to be maxed out and you're going to be burning through it right away. So we're still docked. I need to hire one more crew member. It is a gunner, so I'm just going to hire 2 gunners, and I'm going to hire the 4 miners that we need. So, whoops, I fired one of the actual dudes. So you can tell when you get this little icon, don't fire him because you'll lose the guy. It is worth having the specialized crew if you can find them, because they are a little bit better. So I'm just going to boot off some of these guys because we don't have the crew quarters to house all of them. That is the mine there. Okay, cool. So this is your starting sector. We started up at the top. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. But we can warp. I'm going to warp over here, I think, to start off with. And to begin with, I don't like using or going into empty space just because normally at this stage you don't have turrets good enough to fight off pirates if you encounter them. So here we go. Jump route's calculated. We're going to warp and take a look at this sector. Hopefully there's another sellable asteroid inside of it. That would be nice, so we can get a little bit more money. But yeah, so we're about 30 minutes into the live stream. If you've been watching, I hope you're enjoying it. Blah, blah, blah. Find the Zotan, whatever. So he gives us a radar. That's great. I don't really care about anything else. So, let's see. We are basically out of power. This should be a claimable asteroid right here. It's kind of what it looks like anyhow. So we're going to start flying over there. It's going to take us a while for our warp engine to recharge, and we're going to have, like, no power in the meantime, so let's go take a look at this and see if we can claim it and sell it. And maybe they've got some titanium asteroids in here. That would be nice, because we could use them. Apparently not. So that's just a big-ass asteroid, apparently. Looks just... it's the same design template as the claimable one, so that's kind of annoying. But whatever, it's fine. I mean, granted, our object detector should tell us if there's a claimable in the sector, so... I don't know what I was expecting, but that's fine. Cools. Let's see... just clear that out, because then you can kind of look at them and see what you got. So there's iron. We do have a mining system installed as well, which should highlight asteroids for us as well, and that should increase our ability to find, you know, what we're actually looking for. So that's a big iron asteroid over here. I don't really want to mine it because I don't want to spend the time, which it'll take a while with the lasers we've got. So, and we don't really need that much iron to build or to upgrade to our titanium ships, so that's fine. While this is recharging, I'm gonna just go through. I guess we could use the warp gate. Like, that's probably the best way to do it. So, well, we're going to warp back into the center because there's nothing within range for us to warp to. So, just go like this. Warp again, and then we're going to go over and see what happens. Shen, G-Skill, check the Whisper. I'll take a look. Just give me 1 second. Once this loads in, I should be able to access it. Unfortunately, when it's loading the next sector, you're kind of locked into the game and you can't tab out. So, give me a second here, and we will... I'll see if I can find your message and respond to you. Whoops. So, that paused it. JK. Give me a second. So... I'm like super new to Twitch, so I apologize. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up and see if I can find your Whisper real quick. And then we'll boot back into the game and keep going. Okay. Alright, so I saw your Whisper. I'm not really looking to pay for promo. Like, if you enjoy it, just share it with your friends. Like, that's cool. But I don't really have the bankroll to pay for promos on my streams, channel, whatever. I do have a YouTube channel too, if you want to check out like more videos or different games or whatever. It's over, just search LD7 on YouTube. I've got probably like 600 videos, something like that, across a variety of games. So, you know, it's not just I only play Avorion or something like that. I'm not one of those kind of guys. Like, I like checking out multiple games because I typically get bored playing the same thing for a long time. But anyway, no worries. I did see your Whisper though. I did figure it out. So thanks for, you know, letting me know to check that. I appreciate it. I'll have to play around with my recording software at some point so I can, you know, put that directly into my like overlay or whatever that I've got while I'm streaming, so I can see them when they come through. Cool. So another sector. They've got a few asteroids up here. Let's go see what we can find. Maybe there's something good. I mean, there are equipment docks and turret factories in the first 3 sectors we've gone to, so that's actually not too bad. I mean, we could potentially build some good turrets. Yeah, my dog is coming over to check in while we're playing, so gotta take care of that real quick. But no worries, we're just flying anyway. It doesn't really matter. Like, when you're in a populated sector with a faction, as long as you're not enemies with the faction or bad standing or what have you, even if pirates come in, like, the faction will kind of fight the pirates for you, so you don't have to worry about it too much. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. I would like to find some fucking titanium, though. That would be really nice, but apparently there's none around. And we are going the wrong direction, so I guess that makes sense, but I kind of just wanted to explore around, because you should be able to find some titanium asteroids even out on the very edge, because it is part of the, like, spawning region, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see, so we've got an equipment dock over here. Let's see what they got. Ooh, they do have a gold one. We can't afford to buy it, but they do have a gold one. We could go buy this generator upgrade. I would have to take out the turret system I've got, but that actually might be worth doing. I don't know. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna fly over there. We're gonna go grab that generator upgrade because it's a green level, which isn't bad, especially starting right off. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. And I have the credits, so I mean I can actually afford that upgrade. Oh, I'm surprised we didn't hit that asteroid on the bottom, but that is a good thing because it probably would have wrecked our ship. But no worries, we're just gonna fly on over, check some stuffs out, and pick up our upgrade. Now I might have to pause for a minute here shortly just so I can go get a refill on my drink, but no worries, we'll be right back after that. So if I disappear from the camera for a second, don't worry about it. Like, I'll be right back. I'm not just ghosting ya with the stream rolling or whatever, which I don't know if that's a thing or not with Twitch, but it might be. So just a preface on that, if you see me stand up for a second and it mutes or whatever, like, it's because I'm going to get a refill on my drink. So here we go, coming on in. We're gonna tractor beam up, and we're gonna hold that because we have to reorient and stay right up next to it and trade equipment, buy this generator upgrade, and we could sell some stuff. So, like, I don't know, I mean, this like, I never use the whole polarizer upgrades. Like, I even on my massive ships in my other game, I've never used a whole polarizer upgrade. So we're just going to sell some of this stuff, get a little bit of money back, and we're going to go back in, and we're going to swap out this system for this one. Did that disappear? What the hell? Oh, okay, good. It just went in our inventory, so that's fine. That will help us a little bit as far as power is concerned, so when we go ahead and warp into new places, like, it means that we won't be sitting there forever or quite as long, because we'll actually have power being generated and we'll be able to boost around and all that nice stuff. So as you can see, we've got some excess power now. We can actually speed up our ship and things, which is great. I do still want to find some titanium. I mean, that's basically what we're doing at this point, because until we find titanium, I can't really upgrade my ship, and until I upgrade the ship, I don't really want to go into the Neonite regions because it's not going to be very good for us. So this one does have a few asteroids. I guess let's fly into the asteroid fields a little bit. So it is still chewing through our battery, but as you can see, like, it's only 20 seconds where we're out of power, as opposed to like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. So that is better. Not much better, but better. So we're getting there. Once we upgrade this to titanium, I think the generator layout that I have for the actual template, when it, you know, built the way it's supposed to be built, is pretty good. So we shouldn't have to worry too much about the power. It's something that you deal with though when you're starting off, like you just don't have the upgrades and stuff like that to your warp cooldown and everything, that you end up, you know, burning through some power. But that's not the end of the world. In addition, if you're trying to reload or refill your battery or something like that when it's low, if you boost, it will increase your recharge rate. So I know I don't normally like going into empty space this early on. We're going to arm our single chain gun turret just in case there's something there, and we're going to warp into empty space. What's cool about this area is your warp drive actually cools down faster in an open space, so as you can see, it's only 10 seconds to recharge, so we don't actually burn through our battery in empty space when waiting to warp again, so that's nice. Here we go. Cool. And then it's one more jump until we get into the sector. So not too bad. Not too bad, all things considered. Gonna turn that gun off because we don't really need it. I mean, there shouldn't be anything that we need to kill in this sector. It would be kind of nice if some pirates attack these guys, though. So I could take this gate. It seems to jump us pretty far forward. It's probably this one right here, southeast gate. Yeah, that sounds right based off the direction. If you're new to this, the names of the gates reference the direction that they're going to warp you. So southeast is down and to the right on the map, right? So this should take us down that long jump path. It does cost 2,800, almost 2,900 credits to use this because we're not allies with them, but you know what? That's okay. I'm willing to pay it because this should move us a little bit closer in, so hopefully it'll take us to an area of the map that actually has some titanium for us to gather, because I mean, to be honest, like, we want to find like 5 or 6 good titanium asteroids that we can mine out so we can upgrade the ship A, and then B, after we upgrade the ship to go to our Neonite level 1, we need probably like 20,000 titanium, which we'll find as we're gathering Neonite. Like, it's not a big deal, but you know, we're gonna want to kind of take care of that, so no worries. Let's see. I'm just checking. Whatever. It's probably fine. If the quality is jank or something like that, just drop a message in the Twitch chat and I'll do my best to try to fix it. Like, I am recording a video for YouTube and streaming at the same time because I think that's what I got to do with my software in order to upload this later. I don't know if that's actually the case. Like, we'll see. This is my first stream using this new software, so after this one, like, it might be the case that it actually saves your stream files, which if it does, it means I don't have to record it separate. But if it doesn't, I want to be able to post this on YouTube just in case, you know, people weren't able to make the live stream or they want to watch it back or whatever. They can do that, so, you know, you don't have to sit the entire stream or whatever. But anyway, that's just kind of where we're at. I just got a warning on the recording thing saying the encoding's not fast enough, but it went away now, so I don't know what its problem was. It's probably because it's loading a new sector. Alright, so yeah, you probably heard my dog barking. She does that from time to time. She thinks she's keeping me safe, is kind of how I think about it, because she knows it's not what she's supposed to do, and she's, you know, been trained not to do it, but she can't help herself sometimes. So anyway, we found a couple titanium asteroids. That's the main thing. I'm excited about that. We'll see kind of what happens. So hopefully we can get enough titanium we can upgrade our ship, because going to titanium will be nice for us as well. I believe it's going to increase the speed overall of the ship, because all the engines and thrusters and stuff like that are going to be titanium level as opposed to iron level. Titanium's also lighter than iron, so it'll be less like mass or weight. Well, weight is dependent upon mass in space, I guess, but anyway, the density, actually it's not, well, the weight is dependent upon the density of the material used. Iron is way more dense than titanium in this game, so a titanium-based ship should move faster, even if it had these shitty iron engines on it that we've got right now. So I'm looking forward to upgrading this ship to the actual template that's built out of titanium primarily. There is some iron inside of it, which I believe is used for inertial dampeners, if I'm not mistaken, and that just helps slow it down when you're moving forward. You can only build inertial dampeners out of iron and Avorion, so the first material and the last material. You can't get Avorion until you cross the barrier, so we're going to be using iron in most of the ship designs that I've got, just for inertial dampeners, so it is good to have a little bit of it, so picking up an asteroid here and there doesn't hurt us in the slightest. I just don't really plan on stockpiling it at this stage, because eventually we're going to have mining ships, or automated mining ships in this sector, or this region of space, kind of gathering it for us, so there's no real reason to waste our time mining it ourselves, as far as I'm concerned. So it did jump us a little ways forward, so we're going to warp over to this sector, I think, and see. Hopefully they've got a touch more, whatchamacallit, titanium inside of it. We'll see what happens. So anyway, warping again so it can load. I think I am going to go top off my drink real quick, so I will be back in about 2 minutes, so don't go anywhere. I'll boot into the system first before I go, so you can at least take a look at the stations and whatever in the meantime, but we'll be right back after this sector loads, just so we can keep going. So this one does have an asteroid, so I'm looking forward to that, but we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. 2 minutes. All right, so we are back. Sorry for that little delay. I want to have a drink handy just because sometimes your mouth gets dry when you're talking the entire time. So it's nice to have something to wet your whistle, more or less. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the stream thus far. I mean, I know I'm basically super small time, but hopefully this is enjoyable for you. I mean, I don't know what people do in these kind of things to make it more entertaining, but anyhow, I just thought this is a good format for this kind of game because there's a lot of stuff that happens really quickly, really close together, and trying to put that in one YouTube video is a lot harder than, you know, doing it in a stream type format. So there we go, got another claimable asteroid, sold it. We did damage our ship, it's not a big deal. Over time your mechanics, I want to say, I think it's the mechanics, go through and we'll heal that back up, so not a big deal. You can see kind of the green bars down at the bottom, they're slowly refilling over time, so we'll be back at full health eventually. And it's just because, you know, I was going too fast when we were pulling up to that asteroid. So, let's see. Doesn't really look like there's mineable stuff all that much in this sector, which is kind of a shame. There's a lot of asteroids, but there is a warp gate. So is this it? South 400 credits. We just sold something for 61k, so we can afford that. We're just gonna go through and through this warp gate. These are a great way starting off when you don't have a large warp range, just because it helps you get from sector to sector a little bit faster than if you were jumping. Like, we can't actually warp to this sector in one jump, so it'll take us a while to get there, and it's relatively dangerous because we don't have good weapons either. So going through the gate kind of avoids that. It does cost credits, but pros cons, it's worth the 400 credits. I mean, 400 credits is nothing realistically. It costs more than that to even add a block to your ship, so whatever. That, and you don't have to worry about your warp drive recharging and stuff like that. So kind of what I do when I'm first starting out anyway is I look for claimable asteroids, A, because you can sell them to make money, and then B, I work on getting closer to the center. So you work your way down to the galaxy if you start on top, you work your way up into the galaxy if you start on the bottom, you work your way to the right of the galaxy if you start on the left, and you work your way left if you start on the right. And the reason why you're doing that is because the closer you get to the center of the galaxy, the better materials you'll be able to find. So we're in the iron titanium region, right? So realistically, I want to get to the neonite region because once you unlock neonite, you can build way better stuff for your ship. It unlocks more blocks, right? So you can build like shields or warp cores and all this kind of cool stuff, all of which makes it a little bit easier for you to maneuver around, fight battles, all that good noise. So that's kind of the plan. As I'm harvesting up titanium to upgrade our ship, I'm also working in towards the center of the galaxy so I can access the next region of materials. As far as like where it spawns, like we'll take a look at the map in just a second after I finish mining this out. Normally you hit neonite relatively quickly. I forget what the actual coordinates are. There's like a specific band of space where neonite first appears or whatever. But when you get deeper into the galaxy, it's not like the other materials stop spawning either. Like, all of them will be there. We'll still be able to find iron and titanium once we hit the neonite region. It just will also have neonite. So if we zoom out a little bit, so neonite typically spawns around the middle band right here. So I guess that's around 300 if you're coming in from the top. So this should have neonite. Once you get inside of this square or this band, you should start finding trinium will be like right up in here, which is the tier 4 resource, and xanium, which is a tier 5 resource, will be like right around here. So we need to go quite a ways before we start finding neonite, right? And once you hit neonite, getting to trinium is a lot faster. But anyway, so that's kind of the goal. I'm using the warp gates primarily because we have garbage range on our warp drive with this ship, because there's no warp core that we can build yet. We don't have any system upgrades to increase our jump range or any of that kind of stuff, so going through these gates is the best way kind of to deal with that, because teleports you, and it can go really far. Like, we got advanced a few, like, is probably 15 sectors or so worth of space. So we actually damaged our ship pretty bad there. So we gotta wait 20 seconds on pause before we can repair that damage, which is fine. We shouldn't have crashed into stuff, but sometimes you can't help it. Like, normally with the warp gates, they will teleport you before you actually are able to damage your ship on them, but that's okay. Not a big deal. So at this junction right here, like, this one is going to start working us back this way, so I am going to warp into empty space out of this sector. I do want to repair the ship before we go. When you get this icon, it means that we've got blocks that were destroyed off of the ship, so you can't just wait for it to repair automatically. I don't believe you actually have to go in and spend the resources and credits to repair it manually in order to reattach those blocks. So, not a big deal. I guess we'll open up this mail stuff. We might get something fun. So, no, we didn't, but that's fine. Clear out the icon because it was kind of getting annoying, but whatever. So here we are, empty space, not a big deal. I mean, you're relatively safe warping into empty sectors. I say relatively safe because you might encounter pirates, and in this region of space, you also might encounter the pirate boss Swax, which, if you do, you're going to have a bad day if you don't have any weapons, which, I mean, basically we have no weapons effectively on this ship. Like, we've got our chain gun. I think if we take a look at our DPS, it's going to be less than 40. Yeah, so 35.9 Omicron. So that's less than 36 DPS for our ship, which is nothing. I mean, if we take a look at our hull damage, which our ship is obviously garbage at this point, so we'll take a look at the hull strength once we warp in. So let's take a look. So our hull is 830. At 36 damage per second, to go through 830 is going to take like 2 minutes or so. And in that time, like, the pirates we're going to be fighting are going to be a lot stronger than that. So we're going to have an issue. Now, this is potentially a problem. We've got this red icon up here. So this mining system is kind of doing shit for us. So I'm going to just change this out, because we need to throw another gun on our ship, is basically what that means. So this does, and a little trick you can use for this, if you don't have the arm turret slots, you can use salvaging lasers to increase your DPS as well. And typically speaking, if it's a good salvaging laser anyway, it's going to have more DPS than the turrets you can find. So putting on this 36.7 increased us to non-red on that little warning there, so we should be fine. This is saying that we need more energy, and that's just because we've got the warp core recharging. So to be 100% efficient or whatever, we should expand our generator, but that's fine. As you can see, once the warp core finishes, we're only at 49% energy used. As far as like a baseline goes for that, I figure if you've got less than 50% of your energy being used when you're just kind of going around and not charging your warp core, that is good enough by and large for your ship, because you can still boost pretty well and recharge your battery for the first little bit of your boost, and it gives you a little bit of a buffer so you can go a little bit faster, that kind of stuff. It's all min-maxing primarily on that, so do what you're comfortable with. You can kind of play with those numbers and figure it out for yourself and see what works for how you like to play or fly your ship or whatever. But for me, if you're at 50% or less when you're flying around, it should be good enough as far as your power usage is concerned. Let's see, there should be more titanium in this sector, I would hope. We do still have the mining system installed, and basically what that guy is going to do is, if there are highlighted or hidden asteroids inside this oh, we don't have this anymore, so not a big deal. Like, if we expanded the size of our ship a little bit, that would turn back on. Basically what it does is it highlights mineable asteroids up to the titanium level for us. And the reason why having a mining system is good, if you're going to be doing mining, is sometimes there are hidden deposits. So like, if you see those brown asteroids over to the right of me or down below, sometimes they will have ore just underneath the surface. that you can't actually detect just by looking at the asteroid, right? So putting a mining system on there will highlight them as a mineable asteroid, and you'll know, oh, okay, if I take off this top layer of just regular rock, I'll get into, iron or titanium, whatever it may be, containing. So that's just a little tip for you. Like, mining systems are good if you're going to be doing a fair amount of mining, which right off the bat you probably will be doing a fair amount of mining. So if you can find one that's cheap, you might want to consider picking it up. It does take a system slot, and at this point, like, we need that extra turret on here more than we need a mining system. And I'd prefer to have the object detector than the mining system too, just because if there is a claimable asteroid in the sector, the object detector will put a little icon up at the top of the screen so we know that there's something to go look for. Now, we got the message there's a short burst of subspace signals. That means that a group of pirates is going to warp in, which is actually a good thing because, this is a smuggler outpost sector, I guess, which is fine. I don't know. Well, the smugglers actually might not fight them. I mean, they don't really have combat ships, I don't think. We'll have to look at that and see. But if we fly over to the smuggler outpost that's nearby, we might be able to, just wait and let them take out all the pirates. And then what you can do, as they start destroying the other ships, right? Those ships will drop, credits, resources, turrets, systems, all these things that we're looking for at this point in the game, but you didn't actually have to fight them because we don't have turrets good enough to take on a pirate attack right now. Like, we just don't. We will get destroyed. Almost certainly, like, especially with it being on veteran difficulty as opposed to normal, like, the ships are going to be pretty close to as good as a player on veteran difficulty, so we don't have enough DPS to be able to handle destroying those ships. Now, we do have a salvaging laser, so if they destroy the ships for us, we can go harvest a bunch of resources with that laser on the dead ships or whatever. So I think these little triangle icons, if you look over to the right or up on the top on our screen here, there's little icons for them. I think those are corvettes or, like, damaging ships. So if we stay close to one of those, or close-ish to one of those, when these pirates warp in, they're going to go and attack those corvette ships, and the corvettes will be able to take them out relatively easily because, let's be honest, we're in the iron titanium zone. Pirates aren't that strong out here. But by doing that, we're able to gather the resources as if we killed them ourselves without actually having to put our own ship in jeopardy. So not a bad thing. I'm going to see, I think we can afford this upgrade now. Like, yeah, we can totally afford this upgrade now. So I kind of want to upgrade our ship, I think. We could even go to this one, potentially. I don't know which one's better. So I can't really see the stat. So this is my mining, like, these are templates I use for mining ships, right? So this is the one I have templated out for our iron titanium level mining. This one I think was just an early game ship that I was using, ship design, right? So we might use that. These are trinium, that's xanium, trinium. Yeah, and then we'll probably upgrade to the neonite miner. So let's try this. We're gonna apply this design and see. It looks to be decent-ish. So we need another engineer and another mechanic and a sergeant. Cool. We had just enough crew on the ship to be able to, input all that stuff, which is great. So let's go ahead and put our turrets back on. So there's our salvaging laser. I want my mining turrets for surezies, just like that. And we'll put the chain gun turret up on top, I think, just so it's got a little bit. We got to go back in and reassign all the hotkeys to activate these, which is fine. There we go. So now we're upgraded a little bit, so a little different design. It's probably more maneuverable than the mining ship, in all honesty, but whatever. This should be better. It has way more energy capacity than that other ship we were using because it has a bigger generator on it, which is good for us, because it means that we can, boost a little bit more, go a little bit faster, all that good stuff. So let's just take a look. What's nearby? So this is a smuggler's outpost, which is actually kind of lucky. I'm going to go ahead and add a note that this is smuggler, or, well, not smufflers, smugglers, just like that. So we know what this is when we come back. Now this is useful because if we decide to come back here and pirate this faction that's purple with us, or neutral standing at some point to make money, you know, we can come to this smuggler's outpost and sell all of our ill-gotten gains, which is good. You basically you want a smuggler's outpost if you're going to do pirating on your own, because you can't sell stolen goods to regular stations. So there isn't really... Oh, we did get a 4th slot, so that's cool. We can reinstall our mining system. So the way you unlock more slots is you basically expand the volume of your ship. So it's not about the material quality or like the mass or the damage or any of that. It's all about the size. So the more like volume or space you can make your ship take up, the more system slots you'll be able to store. I believe the maximum is 15 if I'm remembering right. So once you have 15 slots, like, it doesn't do you any good to make the ship bigger than that. So these are the pirates. They have warped in. Oh, they're Zotans, actually. So that actually might be even better for us, because Zotans only attack you if you utilize a turret or a fighter. So if we fly over here, they won't attack us unless we, you know, activate a turret and fire at something. Then they'll become hostile. So that Corvette made short work of them. I am going to fly over and see what they dropped, because even if they only dropped like scrap iron and scrap titanium, that is actually very useful to us at this stage because we don't have a lot of those resources. It does look like they dropped at least one white level system or turret. And we can salvage these ships too. So like if we go up to this wreckage, for example, can fly on over, right? And with the salvaging laser, well, assuming we get it set up, we can do this and salvage it. And this will give you some ore, whatever the block is made out of. So if it's a titanium block, we'll get titanium ore, or not ore, just the resource, right? Because this is a regular laser. There are different versions of the lasers, so some of them give you ore, some of them give you just the resource itself. But salvaging tends to be a little bit better as far as resource harvesting is concerned when compared with mining, just because you get more out of the block sometimes. So not a big deal. You also have the potential when you're salvaging stuff to get systems and stuff like that too. So it is kind of worth it to salvage things, especially this early on in the game, because it might help you increase how much stuff you're getting. So this one actually dropped a system. We'll see what that is. Or, well, it's either a system or a turret. So it is a system, it looks like. You can tell based off of the icon, it's that little thing. So we got a shield booster. We don't even have shields yet, so that doesn't do us any good. But that's fine. We'll go ahead and salvage some stuff out. Might be able to get a little something out of it. So kind of what you want to look for, there'll be these like little sparky, like firework type looking things that come off of it. So if you aim for those blocks, you have a higher likelihood of getting like a system or whatever out of it. So like this one is kind of flashing a little bit. So we didn't get anything all that good out of it, but whatever. Get a little bit of iron anyway. A little bit of titanium. Not too bad. And we did get a couple credits. Like, it's not a lot, so like we got 2 credits out of that block. But you know, when you're starting out in the game and all that, it's sometimes kind of good to get a couple extra credits here and there. So okay, I think we're pretty much done with this sector for the time being. That is, I want to move down and try to get into this next green sector and see if we can find some more, whatchamacallit, the titanium asteroids. because we need to build up some more titanium so we can build the next template. Because if we go in and take a look at our neonite miner, which is this guy right here, so we have the titanium we need already. We need to get 528 iron, which we already have, but we need 6,000 neonite to build this ship, right? So that shouldn't be too difficult to get. I don't know if this one actually has shields on it or not, but it probably does if it's in the neonite region. Typically speaking, on the neonite ships, I put a shield generator on there just because if you have any shields, you're infinitely better than all the rando ships that fly around in the sectors. Because at that point, most of them don't have shield generators. They're just, you know, a whole base ship or whatever. So it makes you stronger, more or less. So anyway. Cool. So this one definitely has some asteroids, so that's nice for us. There is a claimable asteroid or a secret stash hiding around. So there is the claimable asteroid. So we're going to fly over in this direction first and grab that claimable asteroid. I guess I should let my hypercore recharge before I start boosting around like that. Just because, as you can see on this ship, we generate enough energy, we can recharge our hypercore without draining our battery, which is good. That's kind of what you should be aiming for. Because it means that you won't drain like your power reserves and whatever every time you warp a system, which can get quite annoying. Because then you can't fly very fast, you can't use your booster, and you might not even be able to use your turrets. So just bear that in mind. When designing your ships, try to give it enough power generation that it can charge your warp core after each jump without tapping the battery. Or if it does tap the battery, make sure it's only for like a couple seconds or something. So there we go. Another 60k, great. Got some titanium chilling right next door, so we'll go ahead and harvest that on up. Just to kind of increase our stuff. I mean, we don't really need titanium to upgrade to the next level ship. However, I do want to try to get some auto miners set up as soon as possible, because they can go and harvest iron and titanium for me automatically, and I don't have to mess with it anymore myself, right? So that would be good. So I do need a little bit of iron and titanium to be able to build a secondary ship. To turn into an auto miner, I need at least 500 iron for the founding fee, and then I believe, well, we probably want like 3,000 titanium, 3,000 iron. That should be enough to build at least one auto mining ship. And basically what I'm going to do is give it one of the, or I'll probably give it both of the mining lasers off of this ship, and what I'll be looking for is a titanium level or better mining laser to put on my main ship here, just so I can actually mine the neonite once we get to that region of space. So here's a big titanium asteroid. Now these are relatively rare, like you'll find them every once in a while in the sector. They basically look like the claimable asteroids, but they're going to be speckled with the color of ore that they house. So this one is titanium. You can find them in all the various material types. So like we saw an iron one earlier in the stream. But anyway, this is going to be good for us. So it potentially contains 283,000 titanium. So if we mine this whole thing and we had 100% efficiency on our mining lasers, we'd get 282,000 titanium right in that area, right? We don't have 100% efficiency on our mining lasers, probably around 30%, something like that. So we're not going to get anywhere near the yield out of this as we would if we had better mining lasers, but that is okay. Just the fact that this is so large and made of titanium is great for us, because we can harvest a bunch of titanium in one spot. So if you can find one of these early on, definitely take the time to mine it out, even though it's going to take you a little bit of time, especially if you got garbage iron lasers. Mining it out is definitely worth it. So we're going to do this. So we just got a mail about Swax. I don't really care about it because I know how the game works. That's like the first boss you can potentially fight. He's got this giant ship, basically, and he's got like 15 to 20 dudes that kind of fly around with him that protect him and fight you. So it's not the easiest boss fight. if you have a garbage ship like we do. If you have a good ship, it's relatively easy. Like in my main series, I think when we fought him, I already had like a Xanian battle carrier, is what I called the template or whatever. So that ship had probably 10,000 Omicron worth of DPS, something like that. And it was really easy to do that boss fight with 10,000 Omicron worth of damage. If you have less Omicron, it's going to be harder, obviously, so just bear that in mind. Like, you want to build a good ship before you start doing the boss fights, otherwise you're just going to, get destroyed, which isn't fun, because you either waste a reconstruction token, or you lose your ship or whatever, which isn't a good time, typically speaking. Or at least I don't think it's a good time. I don't know, maybe you're playing the game and enjoy getting destroyed, or something weird like that, which is totally possible, but anyway. They send you little messages every once in a while, kind of telling you what you should be looking to do and all that. That way, if you're new to the game and haven't played before, you can figure out what you're supposed to do in order to progress the story and all that. But not a big deal. I mean, I doubt in this stream we're going to get to the point where we can fight Swax, just because this game is kind of a time crunch more than anything else. It takes time to generate resources, it takes time to fly between sectors, it takes time for your warp core to recharge so you can warp the sectors, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, if we hit Nail Night in this live stream, like, it'd be pretty good. I mean, we're at an hour 15 on the stream at this point, so I don't know. I'm at least gonna go 2 hours, I think, maybe 3. We'll kind of just play that by ear, see how I'm feeling. But anyway, just bear that in mind. Like, we're not gonna be able to beat the game in this stream. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I'd have to play all night and all day tomorrow, and even then, we probably wouldn't have enough time, passed in order for us to be at a point to, beat the game, because it takes a long time. Like, if you were here at the very start of the stream, the game that I've done the YouTube series for with Avorion, I think we're at like 91 hours, something like that, and we haven't done the final boss yet. Not saying that we couldn't do the final boss at 91 hours, like, we probably could have done it at 80 hours, but I want to get super overpowered so we can do it really fast, because flying around and waiting for shields to recharge and all that shit is super annoying, and, like, it's worth it to spend the extra couple hours to build a better ship or get better weapons or whatever, before you fight the boss. So, not a big deal. But I wanted to start a new game, mainly because I like Avorion, and I like kind of the early game grind. It's kind of fun. You get to build your ship and all that kind of cool stuff, and see what you can find loot-wise if you get lucky and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good game. Like, Avorion is a great game. If you like space, or interested in space, and kind of like a multifaceted RPG type game, or simulation, whatever. I mean, I guess the tags that Twitch puts for it is action, simulation, indie game, open world. So if you like games with those kind of tags, Avorion is a good one for you. I would add space and sandbox to that list of tags, just because, I mean, it is a space simulator for the most part. Like, the different elements you can add to your ship change. Like, you can min-max what things are important to you, and you can kind of specify out ships. Like, if you're going to have a combat ship, you maybe don't need it to move really fast, but you need it to have a ton of shields and a ton of hull and a ton of health and that kind of stuff. So, like, you would prioritize different things when you're building the ship out over others. Or, like, if you're building a mining ship, you want to have a large cargo hold so you can hold a lot of stuff while you're out there mining, whereas shields and having a large health pool from your hull blocks may not be as important. Same with, like, move speed and stuff like that. So there's different ways you can min-max in this game. It makes it really fun. The building alone is really enjoyable, in my opinion. I like how they do it in this game. I've played Empyrean Galactic Survival as well. It's another good, like, space simulator type game if you're looking for one to try out. I think that the building in Avorion is way better than Empyrean. That's just my opinion. I think it's a little bit more intuitive in Avorion. Like, it's easier to make shapes and stuff like that when compared with Empyrean and other, like, base building games that I've tried out. So I like it. Bottom line, I like it. So if you want to try out a good game, try out Avorion. Anyway, so we're doing decent on this asteroid. Like, we've mined through a theoretical 40,000 titanium already, which isn't bad. I think I'm probably going to stop around 13k or 10k at this point. Like, that'll be enough. We can build a couple of auto miners, and then we can just set them to work in this sector, which will be better for us because then I don't have to sit here and hold left mouse and come up with BS to talk about while you're watching me mine out a giant ass asteroid, right? We can go and do something more fun like exploring the galaxy and stuff like that. So, not a big deal. But you know, it's good to have a stockpile of these resources, not only because it means you can build more ships, but also because if you damage your ship while you're flying around because you crash into something or you get attacked or whatever, you need the resources it's built out of to repair it. So having some extra titanium on hand and some extra iron is a good thing for us because that's what our ship is built out of. Outside of that, I mean, you know, harvesting resources is one of the primary things you do in this game. So you can never have too much resources. You can sell them for credits too. Like if you see the ingot looking icon towards the top of the screen, that's a resource depot. And you can refine ore that you mine if you've got the right kind of lasers at those. But you also can sell your harvested materials. So like I've got 8,500 titanium. If I wanted to sell 2,000 titanium, I could go to that resource depot and sell it. You won't get that great of a price, probably less than 5 credits per ore is my guess at titanium level. But if you need some quick credits and you got a shit ton of ore or a shit ton of a resource, right, you can go to those depots and make a quick 20 million without too much hassle. So just another option. Like that's why you want to build up your stockpile of all the resources. Doesn't matter if they're early game or not, like they will become useful to you at some point. At least that's kind of been my experience with the game. You know, even iron, like you can't build inertial dampeners with anything but iron in Avorion, and you don't get Avorion until way late in the game, so you're always going to need iron for your ship constructions. If they're of any size, they're going to be heavy, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to try to get them to stop unless you're using inertial dampeners, which are built out of iron. So you're going to need a few thousand iron to build stuff too. Anyway, we almost have the 10,000 titanium I wanted to gather. Then I'm probably going to go mine this iron asteroid that's off on the right-hand side, so we can hopefully build an auto miner ship, because it'd be great if we could get one set up at the very least. That way, you know, we can start harvesting things automatically. Then I can go look for another trading post. At this level of the galaxy, we should be able to find a titanium mining laser, which not only is going to be more effective than the iron ones we're using, but we need to find a titanium laser before we'll be able to harvest neonite. So it is kind of part of the progression. You got to find a titanium mining laser at some point. You can wait and see if you can find a neonite laser, but those are more rare than the titanium ones. So, you know, like as you're progressing and grinding up, it's better to just grab a shitty titanium mining laser and use that to get your first little bit of neonite, so you can get started. Besides, you do need the base material in order to place a turret. So like a titanium mining laser has to go on a titanium or better block. Neonite has to go on a neonite or better block. So just bear that in mind. So pirates are attacking this sector. That's totally fine. The ships from the faction in this area should protect us. So they're going after this guy over here, right? So my guess is the faction will defeat them, and then we can go harvest the materials off of these pirates, which will be nice for us. I probably won't salvage them, but they might drop turrets or systems that may be useful to us, so hopefully they defeat all the pirates so we can kind of loot the remains. We're pretty far away from them too, so I doubt they're going to come and bother us. Like, what I will do just to be safe is tag this sector real quick so we can warp out of here real fast if they decide to come over and bother us, just because we don't have the DPS required to really withstand a battle with pirates at this stage. So I don't want to risk losing the ship because I'd rather save that reconstruction token for when I have a really expensive ship that gets destroyed, as opposed to this really cheap, iron titanium one. So anyway, that's kind of the plan. So we're going to mine out this iron asteroid. We probably can build an auto miner after that, which I'll just leave in the sector, I guess. Like, there's iron and titanium here, so it's as good as anywhere else that we've found thus far, and let it mine for us. We only have regular mining lasers, so we don't have to worry about it refining. We just set it to mine and it'll be good to go. But we'll monitor those pirates over there just to be safe. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an issue for us, in all honesty, but I don't really want to deal with pirates at this point. Anyway, so we almost have this asteroid mined out. But yeah, guys, so I hope you're enjoying the stream, basically it's me playing Avorion, but I assume that's kind of what people do when they stream, so they pick their game and play it. So hopefully it's not worse than what you're used to, and hopefully it's a little bit better, in fact, than what you're used to. I don't know. Like I said earlier in the stream, I'm not really super experienced with live streaming. I have a bunch of YouTube experience, filming videos and all that, but they're a lot shorter, so it's a little bit more manageable. Like, you're not going for hours on end, which doesn't necessarily bother me. I actually typically will sit down and record for 2-3 hours at a time and just edit it or whatever to what I want. But I thought I'd give the live stream thing a shot, because I know that it can be a better format when you're playing a game like this, where there's a lot of content really compacted in the first few hours or something like that. It's better to just make a really long video than a bunch of short ones, and doing it via a live stream is even better than just making a video. So anyway, guys, I hope you're enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying playing Avorion with you, so no worries there. I guess what I could say at this point is, if there's a different game you want me to kind of take a look at or try out at some point, just drop it in the comments and let me know, and I'll do my best to try it out. Hopefully I already own it or something like that. But anyway, so there we are. I think we are going to just warp into this sector for the time being, because there isn't anyone in this one to take out these pirates, so I don't want to build a mining ship here. We must have went into an unidentified sector while we were warping down or something, because there isn't anything in that sector. I guess there's the resource depot, but there's no, like, defenders. Normally they have these corvette ships, right, that go and kill the pirates for you. So no equipment dock here. Can warp up to this guy. Maybe they've got one. So I'm looking for an equipment dock so I can buy that titanium mining laser. Just that's what we need to do at this point. So no worries. Sorry I tabbed out there for a sec. But anyway, let's see. Hopefully we get lucky and find an equipment dock. And we not only have to find an equipment dock, but we gotta find an equipment dock that sells a titanium mining laser. And that will enable us, like, at that point, I'll feel comfortable building a auto miner, because I can take the lasers off of my ship that I've got, throw them onto the auto miner ship that we're gonna build, and we can kind of go from there. So I'm gonna warp into this sector. Should be empty space, and then we can warp into the next one that's down a little bit farther, hopefully. But our core will recharge faster because it's empty space. So adventurer, yeah, I don't give a fuck about you, man. Like, go away, don't show again. Great. Yeah, we got nothing in there, so that's awesome. I think they give you this ship. Yeah, so we got this ship. It's basically trash. So I'm just going to template this to our titanium miner, right? And apply design. And this can be our first auto miner. Now I don't have crew for this, obviously, because there is no like stations or anything in this area. But I'm gonna warp it into this green sector. We're gonna get it staffed with some crew. Fingers crossed that there is an equipment dock in this sector. Of course there's not. It's just fucking warp gates. Of course. So, which one is this? Northwest, northeast, south. Let's go south, because that takes us in closer to the center. This is gonna move way fucking slow because it has no crew, but that's alright. We're just gonna kind of deal with it, I guess. I mean, do I have any crew I can assign? No. It does come with a captain, so that is actually not bad. You get a captained ship, because captains are actually fairly expensive to buy from the stations. Like, you can recruit them, which is fine, but normally they cost a few thousand credits each. So you need a captain in order to assign orders or automate a ship. So getting that captain for free, I guess, makes that ship worth picking up, and not just destroying, because you can turn it into an automated ship right away without having to go search around and find a station that sells a captain and his crew, area A, and then B, you know, like building the ship out and stuff like that. So whatever, we've got our mining ship built, or at least what we want our mining ship to be built. We still have to find the titanium laser for our main ship, put that on, and put some turrets on this bad mama, move it into a sector that has some asteroids, let it go start mining for us and all that, but not a big deal. We should be able to handle that relatively easily. With these ships out in the iron titanium, I mean, normally when I automate a miner, I'll have it go between like 3 or 4 different good sectors with a lot of asteroids that are mineable, so it can refresh. I forget what the time, like there's either a time gate or like a warp gate. There's some sort of gating within the game code that determines when the asteroids that are mineable resets for the sector. So if you have 3 or 4 of them, and it goes to all of those sectors and mines everything inside of each of those sectors, typically by the time it finishes mining out the 4th sector in its route, when it goes back to the 1st sector, it will have respawned all the mineable asteroids, so it kind of can just continuously mine, and you don't have to reset it up. However, for this, you know, first auto miner out in the boonies, where we don't really care about the resources because we're going to get more iron and titanium in closer to the center anyway, I'm not too worried about that. We're just going to put it in a good sector with some mineable asteroids, let it go to town. It's kind of my plan, and we'll kind of just go from there. God, this ship is fucking slow. 88 meters per second? Like, come on, man. Come on. And it's because we have no crew. Like, if we had crew on this ship, it'd be a lot better, but there's nowhere to buy crew in this sector. So, I mean, we're kind of SOL. Finally made it after, you know, 5 minutes of flying really slow. But anyway, let's see. Is there a station that's a little bit closer? 13.4 is probably going to be the closest. There isn't an... Oh, there is an equipment dock here, so that is good. I'm going to warp our actual ship into this sector as well. I just figured I'd fly this over and get it crewed up first. So at least it's, you know, ready to rock and roll once we get the lasers we need. And even if this equipment dock doesn't have titanium lasers, we'll probably buy a couple of iron mining lasers just so we can re-equip our stuff. But once we get some crew on this ship, it should be a lot better. Like, it can actually move and, like, you know, generate power and stuff. As you can see, the health bar is slowly decreasing on this. Like, the first bar of health is, like, starting to darken out, and that's because we don't have the required mechanics on the ship. So if you don't have the required mechanics on your ship, it will slowly take damage, and eventually it will just, like, explode, is basically what happens. So, like, you want to make sure you have the mechanics at the very least on your ship crew, because if you don't, your ship will destroy itself. over time. Like, it takes a long time. I mean, we probably would have to sit this with no crew for a couple hours before it died, but even so, like, obviously, if you've built the ship, you don't want it to explode. Um, anyway, so here we are. We're at a trading post. We're going to hire some crew. It needs one mechanic. We're just going to hire one mechanic. It doesn't have any engineers, so we'll just hire a couple of regular cronies. And we are going to need some miners, so I'm just going to hire those while we're over here, because I know we'll need it. And what you can do is you can assign extra crew to engineer or mechanics. It'll give you 130 out of 100%. That basically just means that it has increased capacity, stuff like that, so it's worth doing. As far as this goes, it does have a titanium arm mining, so that's actually not bad. And it's got a couple of them, so there's a green and 2 whites. Okay, cool. So I want to put that on my main ship. So basically what you do, if you're new to the game, we're going to leave this ship here. We know that this guy's in this sector, so if you right-click, you can say switch to craft in sector. It'll let you select which one. There's only one ship in here, so, I mean, there's only one to go to, so there we go. Whatever. Fuck you, adventurer man. I don't care about your goddamn tutorial. I know how to automate ships, okay? But that it does it every single time, so, like, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Just gotta click through the dialogue, I guess. But here we are. We're gonna go through this warp gate real fast. At least this ship actually moves, right? So it's not gonna take us 10 minutes to fucking go 20 kilometers or whatever. So that's nice, but anyway, cool. There we go. And we're going to fly this one over to the equipment dock to pick up those arm mining lasers. Now, arm mining lasers are different than the ones that we have been using. They don't gather the actual resource, they gather ore instead, which has to be refined to get the resource. But typically speaking, they have a better efficiency rate, and they tend to do more damage than the regular turrets, so you get more out of the asteroids when you're mining them using those. You do need to have a cargo hold, though, which I doubt very seriously this ship has a cargo hold, just because of its size, so we're going to have to build one. But that's okay. We can throw a cargo hold on. We've got plenty of titanium, so. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the tractor beam, actually. You know, I mean, we're within 1/10 of a kilometer. We should be able to tractor beam. Normally they put it at 1 kilometer, but whatever. So, alright. We want this one, I think. It's a double. I think we're also going to pick up this bolter turret. It's low DPS, but it does have whole... none of these are really worth it, I don't think. So, I guess we'll buy both of these as well. So we don't have a lot of stuff left, but we can sell some stuff. Like the shield booster can be sold. Cool. So, first things first, we're going to go in and we're going to edit out our design. We're going to take off these 2 iron turrets. And we're going to take a look. So, here's our titanium one. We're going to put this guy on. And we still have one more slot that we can use. So, I'm going to put on this guy as well. And if we take that off, we're still okay. So, I'm going to just take that salvaging laser off for now so we can have 3 mining turrets on this. At the same time, we need to build a cargo bay. Let's just hit show all stats real quick and take a look. So our cargo space is probably 23.6, so that's nothing. We're going to have to build a cargo bay so we can use these mining lasers, but that's fine. So I'm going to build it on the bottom here, I think. Well, I'd like to build it on the bottom. So you basically use the keys on your keyboard, A, S, and D to do this. So there we go. That's going to add 26, so we need more than that. That'll add almost 80 more. It'll give us 100. What if we... There we go. That'll give us a couple hundred. We don't have the credits for it, however. 15. So we can add 78 more. Okay, that's fine. We'll just start with that. What we need to do is go sell some of our resources, I guess. But if we enter into the ship, if I can select it, now we can go in and put our mining lasers on this. So I put both of these guys on there. It is weak, but that's fine. We can put a chain gun turret on, and now it's fine. We are still docked, so I'm going to hire one more dude, or two dudes, so I can put a gunner. Oh, I have no fucking money. Great. God, what a ball ache. Basically what I need to do is go sell some stuff so I can get enough credits to hire one crew member. So let's just go over to this refinery and sell. I mean, we don't need to sell all that much. Like a couple hundred titanium will probably be enough to hire the crew. Let's just take a look. Our mining laser instructions I don't need. The difference between our mining lasers and regular ones, since you gather ore with our mining lasers, you have to have cargo bay space in order to hold the ore, right? So the more cargo space you have, the more you can mine. But it's worth using our mining lasers because you get a lot more out of, or a lot more yield out of the asteroids and everything. So I'm glad that we found those, in all honesty. Like that is a good upgrade for this ship. We've got 3 titanium level R mining lasers. And it looks like one of them has independent targeting, which basically that's a random upgrade that allows you to like set the turret to auto target stuff. So that's pretty cool. I don't want to buy, I want to sell. So we get 4 for each titanium and 3 for each these. So let's just sell 800 iron. And I guess we'll sell 1253 on the titanium. Give us a little bit of money so we can hire the fucking 2 crew members that we need so this guy doesn't get blasted out of the fucking sky. There you go. Now you can have some gunners because it really matters. But now we've got an auto mining ship, which is cool. So yeah, it only has iron lasers and all that, but an auto mining ship at this level only really needs mining lasers, so that's okay. I'd like to put it inside of this asteroid sector that we found up here with the 1500, so I think we're going to fly this ship back over there. And since this one has a captain, we can actually tell it to travel there on its own. So if I enter back into our other ship, assuming we can select it, I can go onto the map and you can see I've got this guy right here. So I can tell it to move here and then move here. You shift, I think, is what you gotta push to enchain commands. So lady, go there, then go there, then go there, and then you're gonna mine. Fuck, no, that's not, God, that's kind of annoying. Here we go. Go there, go there, go there, and then do some mining. I would tell it to go over into Bright Clouds 4 because there's a lot of asteroids there that I know have good resources, but there's 3 ships of the anal pirates. You know, I didn't name these pirates. They are called the anal pirates, if you can believe it. So I guess they're ass bandits. Super fun. Anyway, so since this one, the lady or whatever has a captain on it, it will auto fly. It's probably going to use the gate system to get there. Kind of what it looks like anyway. So anyway, you can see it moving on its own. That's because it has a captain. If it didn't have a captain, I wouldn't be able to give it orders. I do need to take a break for just like a couple minutes here, so I'll be right back. Stay tuned. And then we're going to go keep pushing in towards the center of the galaxy. Hopefully encounter some Neonite now that we've got the titanium lasers. So we can, you know, keep on progressing. Anyway, guys, I'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Alright guys, we are back. I just had to take a break there for a minute and use the restroom, all that good stuff. And I need to get my dog some more water, so no worries. We're back. We're going to go through this gate because the next sector down is a fair amount of ways and we can't warp there in one jump, so might as well use this. It's only 600 credits, assuming we still have 600 credits, of course, which we do. We've got 66.99. Super fun, right? That's a good number of credits, right? Hopefully we find a claimable asteroid in this sector that we can sell. That'll give us, 60, 70k right off the bat, so that'd be great. But we'll see. Yeah, by the way, I hope that when I'm vaping it doesn't like destroy your ears or something like that. I'm trying to blow it away from the fucking microphone or whatever. That way, you don't have to worry about it. But anyhow, so pirates are attacking this sector. That's fine. Should be fine. So they're going up. They're gonna go battle this Corvette. Is what it looks like. So we'll let him destroy those, and then we're gonna go reap the benefits because that's basically what you do. At least starting off, once you have enough Omicron, you can actually fight the pirates yourself if you want to. But that's still a ways away. We don't have enough credits to buy good turrets and everything, and our ship isn't that good either. Like, once you have shields and everything, then you can start fighting the pirates out in the Iron Titanium area. That's kind of how I do it anyway. But before shields, it's a little bit risky because if they destroy your ship, you have to rebuild it, and you might lose your systems and stuff like that, which I don't want to deal with. Now, it looks like that guy dropped a gold level system or turret, which actually is pretty fucking good for the Iron Titanium. I mean, we don't have a lot of stuff as it is, but yeah, that is a legendary level item, so cool. I will take that, and I will take this titanium scrap that has dropped, and iron scrap, doesn't really matter. Either or both. So that's transporter software too. Wow. That is a fucking amazing find. And let me tell you why. Once you hit Xanian level, you can have fighters, right? And fighters don't really become viable until you have a transporter software that has fighter cargo pickup. You only get fighter cargo pickup on blue or greater tech level transporter softwares, right? So normally you can't find those until you get really close to the barrier. So the fact that we got one right off the bat here for free is crazy to me. But I no complaints. I will take it. So let's keep pushing down, I guess, and hopefully we get to some Neonite soon so we can upgrade our ship again. But wow, that is a lucky find, especially off of a pirate we didn't even kill. I mean, on my main channel, or my main series or whatever for Avorion, if you've watched it, like, it took us a long-ass fucking time to get the right transporter software to be able to use fighters. The fact that we got that just given to us, basically, that's pretty good. Now, this wormhole, which is the little glowy thing, we'll take a look at it, goes down here. So that's probably worth going through. So if you fly through these, they're free to fly through. They'll teleport you somewhere deeper in space or whatever. Some of them go like lateral, some of them go closer to the center. This one kind of does a combination of both. So I'm thinking that this will put us into Neonite region, hopefully. I mean, that's the hope. So we'll kind of see where we end up. But if it does, this will save us a lot of time because we didn't have to work through all the sectors. So let's see where we ended up. So it teleported us from there to there. So I mean, if you count all these sectors, like, that is a long ass way to go. We are still in like Iron Titanium region, basically, but I mean, we did at least, travel quite a ways. And we might be slightly closer, like, I mean, this one is in the second box as opposed to the first box. So we might be close to Neonite. Now, I kind of got to decide, we need to move in towards the left now, since we're on the right of the center, but we're going to go ahead and do that. If you're noticing on the right-hand side, you'll see that our resources are ticking up periodically, and that's because of our auto mining ship we set up. It's going to continuously mine resources for us, so iron and titanium, based off of where it's stationed or whatever, what have you. So that's good. We're slowly getting resources built up over time, which is kind of one of the first things you want to get set up is a few auto miners. That way, you know, you don't have to worry about mining yourself if you don't want to, outside of increasing your resource diversity level. Anyway, so hopefully when we warp into an actual sector here, we will find some neonite asteroids so we can upgrade our tech. And I forget, this neonite miner ship, 6,000. So we probably need 3 or 4 neonite asteroids in order to get that gathered up. We are using our mining lasers, which are a higher efficiency, so we might be able to do it in a little bit less. We'll just kind of have to play that by ear and see. It also depends on how big the asteroids are too, so we'll find out together, I guess. But hopefully there's neonite in this sector. That'd be great. That would mean that basically this wormhole pushed us into a region that's going to help us. So this faction, we're on bad reputation standing, so they're not going to attack us unless we do something to them. But it also means that we can't really trade with them. So there is a claimable asteroid. Selling this to them will increase our reputation and give us a little bit of money. We'll get less money because we're gaining more reputation. That's kind of the trade-off with these. But you know, it's worth increasing your standing with the factions, typically speaking. Unless you're at a point where you're trying to pirate things, then it doesn't really matter. You're going to be at war anyway, so who really cares if they like you? With that being said, I'm going to claim, and we're going to sell 44k, so still a reasonable amount of money. And that did take us up to neutral with them, so that is good. So, cool. We're at neutral standing with these homies now. I guess we'll just keep pushing inwards. And maybe we'll encounter another wormhole that'll take us farther in towards the center. Normally, you'll find a wormhole that'll take you from the iron titanium up to the neonite trinium or trinium xanium level. It just kind of depends. You gotta get lucky a little bit. But whatever. And if not, it's not a big deal. Like scouting out the sectors and finding more factions and stations and all that stuff is good too, because each faction tends to have about 12 claimable asteroids each. So the more factions you encounter, the more asteroids you should be able to find that are sellable, right? So that's a good thing for us. Anyway, we're gonna go claim this one and sell it. And then keep on warping, I guess. We can't hit this one, which I suppose is worth going to. I don't know. It doesn't look like we're at the neonite region yet. We probably would have seen a neonite asteroid in that last sector if we were. So it's probably just a little bit deeper into the galaxy than where we're at, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We'll get there eventually, and I'm hoping we get there before the end of the live stream. I mean, we're almost at 2 hours now. I plan on going for about 3 in total. I feel like that's a decent length, all things considered, so we've got time. It's just, you know, anyway, I'd like to get to neonite so we can start harvesting better stuff. Here we are, so we should be able to warp. Great. Go on through. See what happens. We can go to this one next, so we'll do that, I guess. And as you kind of go around, like, it's not necessarily required that you go check out all the asteroids. I normally at least fly close to them to see if there's maybe something I want, but it's okay. Not a big deal. So this one has a research station, it looks like. There are a few asteroids, but none of them, and I don't really want to use these warp gates either, so I guess we are going to fly into empty space, take a little bit of a risk, but it is what it is. Like, I want to get to Neonite. Like, that's, after I've got a titanium level ship built and I've got an auto miner set up, like, your next goal should be to get to Neonite, because then you can build shields, then you can build warp cores. It just unlocks a lot of stuff that's going to help you explore the galaxy faster. So it's worth doing quickly, relatively speaking. I mean, obviously we're almost past 2 hours of game time, so we're not going that fast, relatively speaking. Like, I'm sure a speedrunner probably would be at Trinium by now, but I'm not a speedrunner. I'm just a homie that enjoys playing fucking Avorion, so no worries, I'm not an expert by any means. Let's go ahead and see. We probably need to repair something. Yeah, it costs 2 titanium 7 credits, that's fine. Because we crashed into that climbable asteroid, but whatever. So our computer's still calculating the jump route. Sometimes you'll encounter this where it takes longer to calculate than it takes for your warp core to jump. So sometimes it helps to select the sector, and then it'll do it faster. Basically, the calculating jump route is just how long it takes for the server to load the next sector that you're trying to warp to, right? So it just depends on how much stuff's inside of it, by and large. So this is a salvaging sector. So there's a scrapyard up here, right? So you can go and salvage all these wreckages. You have to buy a license and stuff. I don't normally waste my time with salvaging, but like, it's just not something I do. I don't know why. Like, in theory, salvaging is better than mining when it comes to gathering resources, but I don't know. I like mining more than salvaging for some reason. Like, it's just the way I play the game. You should, in theory, be able to automate a salvager ship, and I think you can set it up so it automatically buys the salvaging licenses too. Not 100% on that, so don't quote me on it, but it might be worth setting up an auto salvager just so you can gather resources even faster than setting up an auto miner. But anyway, we're doing okay. We're gathering resources while we're warping around, so it's not a big deal. It's not a waste. Like, we're not wasting time scouting out all these sectors. Like, it doesn't hurt us at all since we have that auto mining chip set up. If we didn't have the auto mining chip set up, it might be a little bit of a waste to kind of warp around like this without exploring the sectors all the way and checking out the asteroids, just because we're not gaining resources at the same time. But since we are gaining resources, I'm okay with that. So I'm just kind of looking. Let's zoom out all the way and kind of just take a peek and see. So you can you can hit F9 to zoom out to this level, or to get to this zoom level with one button push or whatever, but that's fine. So another faction is attacking these guys, so that actually isn't bad for us because the other faction won't attack us. They're neutral with us, right? So as the faction that owns this sector destroys all these ships, we might get some good systems or turrets or something. I'm hoping for turrets, in all honesty, because we could use some higher DPS turrets than what we've got. I mean, we're at 36 DPS or something like that. Some trash number, but whatever. So getting like 200-300 DPS off of a turret drop or something would be great. Not to say that that's what's going to happen, but you at least have a shot. And if not, I mean, hey, gathering these systems or turrets, whatever they might have dropped. So this looks to be a system. They're both systems up here, so those are both white systems. That's fine. Go over to this green one. That's a system as well. And you can tell by the shape. So this looks like a system, right? A turret will look like a turret. When we encounter a turret, assuming there's one around here that dropped, I'll kind of show you what the icon looks like. It looks like a turret, basically. But anyway, so go blue system, see what we get. Mining system. Wow, that's actually pretty good. That should be able to hide if we permanently install it into our ship. That'll highlight up to Xanian level asteroids, which that is not too shabby. Not too shabby. Let's see. I think there was one more ship that was destroyed that has white system height. Maybe not. Okay, that's fine. Not a big deal. So, decent haul. We got some systems out of it anyway. I guess we will take the warp gate southeast. That's the one we want. No, that's not the one we want. We want southwest. Or west-southwest, whatever. They call them different things depending on like how severe the angle between the south and the west or the south and the east is. So this one's more west than south, so it's west-southwest instead of southwest. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. Like, we know this is the one we want to go through. It's a little bit farther. It pushes us closer towards the center and everything like that. Cool. So here we are. There is an equipment dock. Let's just see what this homie is trading. Oh, we're not allowed to do business with you. Fine. Well, fuck you then. You don't get my credits. I guess we will... Like, in reality, I guess we should be going, like, diagonally? Kind of like that? We'll maybe go up to this system, I suppose. So it's probably... west-northwest. It's probably this one. I'm surprised they won't trade me systems, though, because we are neutral standing, as far as I can tell. Like, it says we're neutral on the relations here, so I don't understand why they won't trade with me, but that's fine. Probably got to sell them another asteroid before they're comfortable giving us trades, whatever. That's alright. Not a big deal. We'll probably encounter a new faction anyway once we hit the Neonite region. So I'm just going to warp to this one, because might as well, like, it's not that far. And see, hopefully there is a warp gate in this sector that goes deeper into the galaxy so we can keep on moving right away without having to wait for the warp drive cooldown. But it's alright either way. Cools. So I'm still not really seeing Neonite, which is fine. Like, it's probably a little bit deeper into the galaxy, but it'd be nice to find it. So this one actually kind of goes the way we want. So we want the south-southwest instead of the west gate, because this is going to push us down on a diagonal towards the center. So I think this is the direction we want to go. Like, it is what it is. Like, either gate would take us closer to the center, so it's not that big of a deal which one we pick. Got 700 credits, we got 100,000, so we're fine, we can afford that. So cool, here we go. Ooh, these guys are friendly with us right off the bat, so that's kind of nice. And we're going to go through this gate as well. So now we are negative on our stuffs. So that is a little bit concerning. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to permanent install this so we can throw on the salvaging laser that we've got, just to increase our DPS slightly. It doesn't have to be a lot. Like, it really does not matter. Like, I can't even use that turret because we don't have the mining lasers for it. But since it's on there, it changes that little icon from red to orange, which means that... I forget what they're called. They're like the Ravagers or something like that. There's some like group of ships. If you've got that red triangle with the exclamation point in it, they are going to come down and hunt your ship and destroy it because you're not strong enough to be in the sector. So bear that in mind. If you've got a red marker on your ship like that, you're gonna have some visitors that are gonna come and kill you. So you don't want it to be red. If it's orange, it's okay. They won't come and find you if it's orange. So good enough. I mean, we won't be able to fight anything in this region, but that's okay. And the fact that that changed from nothing to red tells me that we're probably in the Neonite region now. Because typically those, like the base, the way that's based is off of your Omicron. So you need a minimum level of Omicron to be strong enough, or a minimum level of shields, holes. So like, it calculates based off of your HP from your hull, your shields, which we don't have yet, so that's 0, and your Omicron, right? So if all those numbers added together is too low, it will be a red it'll be a red triangle, and that increases the deeper you go into the minimum level increases the deeper you go into the galaxy. That's what I'm trying to say. So since it increased kind of suddenly like that, it tells me that we have hit some relative threshold, which hopefully is the threshold to find Neonite, is what I'm hoping. So I don't want to go to that emergency call. We'll probably get killed by pirates. Doesn't really look like there's sectors around us, though, which kind of sucks. And these are just titanium and iron asteroids in here, which I don't really want. Come on, where the Neonite at? We're just gonna warp in, I guess, and see. Hopefully we encounter something. I guess we could hire the miner we need. So we'll go over to this plasma cell factory and hire one dude. That's probably all we need. Yeah, we need one miner. And this guy might actually sell miners. Each station type sells the same fixed amount of specialized crew. I just don't know what all of them are because there's so many different station types. So this guy might have miners. He doesn't, so that's fine. We'll just buy a regular homie. Not a big deal. Throw him on. Cool. Now we're good to go. And where's our warp point? Is right here. There we go. Warp away. Now this is fairly dangerous. Warping in empty space out here is very dangerous because if we encounter pirates, we're gonna get fucking destroyed. Like that. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Like, we will get destroyed if we encounter someone that's hostile to us. So I'm hoping that we don't. But you never really know. It's worth it, though, because I want to get in closer so we can find some Neonite, hopefully. Because putting a warp core on this ship would be great, because it'll increase the amount of sectors we can jump, which will make it easier for us to move farther in the galaxy at a time. It does increase the warp drive cooldown and all that, but you know what? It's a viable trade-off in my mind. Like, it's worth doing, so whatever. I guess what we could do, we could change out the mining system for this, not scanner. Oh, I saw the radar thing, huh? Okay, well that's fine. 755 versus 186, so I probably can't afford to upgrade that mining system yet, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. I just thought if I could, without too much sacrificing in power, it might be worth it because it'll highlight all the good asteroids for us as opposed to just the iron and titanium. If I permanent install that mining system we've got right now, it will highlight Neonite as well, so I guess I could do that. Not a big deal. You can uninstall permanent installations at an equipment dock, but I don't really want to deal with it. So we found another smuggler's outpost, which I mean, we're pretty lucky. Just warping into empty space and finding 2 smugglers outposts like that is I mean, that's pretty lucky, because there's a small percentage of unmarked sectors that are smuggler outposts, so the fact that we've randomly warped into 2 of them is pretty good. Like, normally they can be kind of a pain in the ass to find. Like, when you actually need them because you've been pirating, like, you can never fucking find them, at least in my experience. So we've got 2 of them found anyway. So we're basically in the region between 2 factions, is my guess. So there's going to be some asteroid sectors around here. most likely what's around. Like, if we had a radar upgrade that detected the unknown mass signature sectors, we'd be able to see, like, little yellow dots on the map, too. And those could hold pirates, they could hold asteroids, they could hold smugglers, they could hold a bunch of different stuff, but it won't hold a faction station, right? So they can be good. Like, if you go into those, and if there's pirates, you clear out all the pirates, they're typically pretty good for mining, because they've got a fuck ton of asteroids. Like this one, great mining sector. Like, there's a claimable asteroid here. There's maybe even two. We'll see after we sell this one. So this means there's valuable objects that will highlight if there's a claimable asteroid or a secret stash or something of interest within the sector. So after we sell this asteroid, if that marker is still there, that means that there's probably a second claimable asteroid, or there is a secret stash inside of the sector as well. We'll kind of see what happens. Sometimes there's only one asteroid, sometimes there's two or three. It just depends. So there we go. 130k for selling that. That's actually pretty good. It's because we're pretty good relations with these guys. So this is blinking over here. So I'm guessing that... Well, that's the valuable object, this little blinky thing over here. Normally you can target them if you've got good mouse skills. I don't, so we're just going to fly in closer. It's not a big deal. And this will be either a secret stash, or it might be a beacon to start Operation Exodus as well. That's definitely possible. This monstrosity down here is probably a claimable asteroid, so we'll sell that too. But I want to get this flashy thing first. See what that is. Ah, it's a beacon. Okay. Operation Exodus, great. I don't want to do that right now, but that's one of the mission chains you have to complete in order to get one of the Zotan artifacts that's required to overcome the barrier. Not a big deal. There is a second claimable asteroid though, so that's good. I mean, this sector alone was worth a couple 100,000 coin to us, so 260,000 credits is what we made between those two asteroid sales. So that's actually pretty good. Like, the two asteroid systems are not bad. Like, once you have enough credits to actually be able to build mines and stuff like that, the two asteroid systems are really good to actually build your mines in, because you can, you know, build like a coal mine, and you can build a gold and platinum mine or a gold and silver mine, so you can build a variety of different stations that require those resources. Because you can't, like, you can build any of the actual factory stations anywhere, but you can only build the mines on claimable asteroids. So if you need a bunch of claimable asteroid type stations in order to build a factory chain, you have to find a system that has enough claimable asteroids that allows you to build all of those, right? If you're gonna, you know, supply all of it yourself, which means you make all the money yourself, right? You don't have to pay anyone for the items, or the prerequisite items, I guess I should specify. But not a big deal. So we're getting deeper into space. Yeah, see, so we're red again. That is pretty dangerous for us. We really need to find an equipment dock, so we can upgrade our turret to get more DPS. But I mean, first we gotta find a fucking populated sector. Not too big of a deal, though. We do have the red exclamation point, though. So, I mean, eventually these hunters will come and try to destroy our shit. So, we might randomly warp into a sector and have a group of attack ships come and try to destroy us, which wouldn't be great, but, you know, is what it is. So, this is the box Swax. 118... Ah, fuck. Okay, well, that's fine. We're just gonna fly over in this direction. So they're jamming us, that's why we've got a 50-second cooldown on this. And there's torpedoes. God damn it. Yeah, we're probably gonna get fucking killed. I doubt we can handle torpedoes, in all honesty. Like, we're not fast enough to outrun these guys. Like, we go 200 meters a second faster than Swax himself, but we can't boost the entire time. So, great. Great. How much time? 22 seconds until we're recharged. So at least the jump route's calculated. The big thing is staying out of range of these torpedoes, because I'm pretty sure if any of these torpedoes hit us, we're going to get killed in one shot. And now they're able to hit us. So, great. 1 second. Boom. Bye! So that was Bus Walks. You know, chance encounter, which, you know, can happen when you're in this region of space. So, we got lucky we didn't get destroyed on that. I am honestly shocked. So, anyway. I don't really know where another sector of fucking faction stations is going to be. It'd be great to find one, because we kind of need, you know, something to go fucking hide out in. Because when you warp around in empty space like this, you could encounter swacs, you can encounter just an asteroid field with a bunch of fucking pirates in it. There's a lot of stuff in empty space that can kill you, and since we don't even have turrets good enough to, you know, be allowed to fly in this area of space, you know, it's really not good if we encounter anything. So I don't know what direction we need to head in. I don't have a radar upgrade, unfortunately. So a radar upgrade would allow me to see a little bit deeper into space and what direction to travel and stuff like that. But it's okay. I mean, we'll just keep fucking warping around and hopefully encounter some faction at some point. Like, there should be one nearby. I wouldn't think that you've got this much empty space, but apparently you do. We're almost definitely in the Neonite region now, because we're pretty deep in space now, but we either need to find asteroids or we need to find a faction. So, alright, there's a green sector down there. We're gonna head down towards that, I guess, because, you know, I want to get to charted territory, more or less. So we'll just keep warping down in this direction. It's not a big deal. At least when you go through empty space sectors, you get the decrease on the cooldown and stuff like that. So it only takes 10 seconds to warp between sectors as opposed to the, like, 30 or whatever. But fingers crossed that this green sector we go to first is going to have an equipment dock too, where I can buy a good turret. Because I need to upgrade my weapons so we don't get fucking destroyed by the hunters or whatever. I forget what they're called. There is a specific name for them. It's maybe like the headhunters. That might be what it is. That sounds that sounds familiar. I think it's the headhunters, but that might be wrong. So don't quote me on it. But I really don't want to encounter those guys because they will chase you down and kill you. That's their job. So since we've got that red triangle, like, your ship is very weak. Add shields or extend it. So when it's red like that, that means they're going to come in and find you. So be careful on that. Like, we're doing okay, and I think we're doing okay because we're warping between so many sectors, so we aren't sitting in one place for too long. But the minute that we sit in a sector for like 5-10 minutes, we'll be swarmed and fucking destroyed. So bear that in mind. It is important to upgrade your weapons as you delve deeper into space. We've just gotten unlucky that there hasn't been any, you know, like, fucking stations or whatever. So we found another smuggler's outpost, just randomly warping. So that's cool, I guess. And there might actually be Neonite in here, so I kind of want to check out this sector. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this so it can start calculating for us, but I'm also going to kind of check out some of these asteroids and see if we can find some Neonite, because if we get some Neonite, we can build a shield generator, which we can put on our ship, and that will take away the red dot, because we'll have enough health. So this looks to be a Neonite behind this asteroid over here. So turn on our titanium lasers. Yeah, we found some Neonite homies. Here we go. Great. And since we've got our mining lasers, we should have decent efficiency on this too. The question is, how much of this can we actually store, because we only have 100 cargo space, but hopefully we can get the whole asteroid. So as you can see, we're getting neonite ore instead of naonite. That's what our mining lasers do. I've got a video all about it on YouTube, so if you want to know more about the different type of lasers and shit like that, just check out my YouTube channel. Check out Lone Debater on YouTube, or Lone Debater 7 on YouTube, and check out my Avorion playlist. There will be one titled like mining lasers, I think is what the video is called, and it explains the difference between the different types. But anyway, so there we go. We got like 1,000 naonite, so great. We're gonna go. If this one has a refinery, we can refine that into the actual resource, and then we can use it to build. So it does have a resource depot. It's not a refinery. I call it a refinery because that's what you do there. You can refine ore and scrap into the actual resources, but not a big deal. So we're gonna fly over to this. But anyway, so that's great. We're in the naonite area, so that's awesome. I'm excited about that, because now what we can focus on is finding a naonite level mining laser to upgrade on our main ship, and then we can build another auto miner with the titanium lasers that we've got, and have it auto mine the naonite titanium region once we find a good asteroid field or whatever with a bunch of resources inside of it. So that's pretty good. I'm excited about that. We did decent. I mean, we're at like 2 hours 20 minutes, so that's reasonably fast for finding naonite. I mean, on a time scale of more than 90 hours to beat the game. So anyway, so we've got 2198 naonite. So 2,000 naonite we get because the refinery takes 5% of whatever you refine as a tax. So 2,000 naonite is ours. We need more, obviously, to upgrade to the naonite chip that we want. But what I am going to do, just so we kind of avoid these guys, is if I take naonite shield generator, I can put on a shield generator for us. Wrong button. So I'm going to set this to 550. I'm going to put 550 there. Put 550 there. 550 there. And we don't have enough to do another 550. God damn it. That's fine. So now we have a little bit of shields anyway. I need to hire some crew, so I need 1 and 1, so we'll just hire like 3 dudes. Give us a little extra, that way we can kind of do that. But okay, so let's go find some more naonite. I guess is what our goal should be, so we can add a little bit more. So as you can see, we now have orange triangle, and that is because we now have some shields to help defend our ship. Now our shields aren't fucking charged, but that's fine, they'll charge up over time. So we've got 2,000 hull, 2.6 thousand shield. So we've effectively doubled our health with that 2,000 naonite that we found. So that's good. I mean, I'm happy about that, because it means that we can fly around in this sector of space without having to worry about headhunters coming and killing us. So we paid some credits or whatever to travel through that warp gate. Hopefully there's an equipment dock so we can find a better mining laser, better DPS turret, or what have you. Anyway. So here we go. Warp in. Hopefully there's some asteroids in here too. Some naonite asteroids more specifically. Because that is what we are looking for. So we're back in red again. That's totally fine. It's not a big deal. We need to add more shields is basically what we need to do. Until we find an equipment dock to get us more or better DPS turrets. So we'll fly over. I'd be willing to bet. So this is 7.8k. I don't know what the efficiency on these are. So 65, 65, 71. So that averages probably to like 67%. So we should get a few thousand neonite out of this asteroid alone, which is great. Assuming we have the cargo hold to hold all the ore. That is going to be a problem we'll run into. We don't have enough cargo storage to hold all the ore that we're mining. So bear that in mind. You might have to increase your cargo hold in order to use the R mining lasers, but as you can see, this is way better. I mean, we're getting 2,000 to 3,000 ore per asteroid or more per asteroid, as opposed to like the 700 we were getting initially, and that's because we're using a higher efficiency mining laser than what we were using before. So bear that in mind. Like, upgrading to our mining lasers, yeah, you got to have a cargo hold, which costs more engineers and stuff to staff your ship, and it takes some blocks and some material costs and all that kind of shit, but it is worth it. So if we go into our cargo hold, like, we're almost full. We only have 20 left, but we've got 5,400, so we probably can't really mine another asteroid, if I'm honest. So let's just find a warp gate. West northwest, I don't want to go through. I want to go somewhere new. So there should be 4 of them. Here's one. North northeast. It's gonna go up to where we came from. What is this one? East gate. Sure. Let's go through the east. That should be fine. And this is actually, like, this sector right here that we're in is not a bad one to put a mining ship in, just because there's a lot of asteroids in it. So if we go on the map, there's 15, almost 1,600 asteroids in here. So you can put mining ships inside of, like, faction-controlled sectors, as opposed to, like, unknown mass sectors or whatever that have a bunch of asteroids in them. The benefit of putting it in with a faction is that, you don't have to clear out a bunch of pirates or something like that first before you can use it. And they'll defend your ship if pirates come in and attack. So here's another one with a bunch of asteroids. Like, there's probably a ton of fucking shit in here that we could mine. So there's 2 of them that are really close together. So what I would do is put an auto mining ship that warps between this sector and the one we just came from, and set that to a looped auto enchained command or whatever, and it'll mine out all the asteroids inside and what have you. If you're using our mining lasers, you do have to set a I think it's a refinery command or refine command, something like that, that tells it to go to a resource depot and change the ore into the actual material. But that's not too difficult. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. So we haven't encountered a resource depot, which is unfortunate, because I would like to refine this ore into, actual neonite, so I could build the shield generators we need to survive in this sector. There we go. So this has a bunch of ore in it. We won't be able to mine that. So let's go claim this asteroid and sell it. Get some more credits, I guess, while we're here. We can highlight and warp to this one, I guess. So save a little bit on the money side. Not a big deal, either way. We might go mine this smaller asteroid. We might be able to hold that in our cargo hold. And really, I'd like to upgrade our cargo hold if we could. I don't think I've got the resources to do it. As far as, like, actually, I probably do have the resources to do it. So let's mine this neonite and see if we can get the whole asteroid. If we can, great. I'm not going to worry about upgrading the cargo hold now. If we can't, then I might try to extend the cargo hold just with a... Yeah, so see, we ran out of cargo space. That's what the little circles mean there. So if I go in and pick cargo bay, like this, we can try to add more. Just with titanium. I'm going to make these a little smaller. Give us a little bit more storage so we can hold more. So there we go. And that increased our hull sufficiently to decrease us out of the red triangle to the orange. So, like I said, it's a combination of your damage output, your hull strength, and your shield capacity. So between all 3 of those numbers on our ship, we now are able to fly in this sector of space without having people wanting to come and kill us because we're so weak. So that is good. I'm happy about that. So we're going to go mine this asteroid. We should have... Yeah, we've got 138 cargo left now. so we can gather a little bit more. And basically what this will allow us to do, my guess is if we mine out this asteroid as well, we're going to have enough neonite ore that once it's refined, we'll be able to upgrade to the neonite miner template that I've got, which will be great. I'm pretty sure that has shields. It might even have a cargo bay. If it doesn't have a cargo bay, we'll just add one on. It's not a big deal. You know, you just throw on some cargo blocks or whatever. But anyway, so this sector here is another good one to put an auto miner ship in, because there's a fair amount of neonite asteroids inside of this. So if you're trying to get an auto miner that's gathering you a fair amount of neonite, this is a good sector to use, I would say, just because there's a fair amount of neonite in it. Sometimes the issue you'll run into, even if there are like a specific resource, so like for example, let's say you want to get trinium, maybe there's trinium inside of the sector, but there's more titanium asteroids than trinium asteroids. Well, you're going to end up getting a bunch of fucking titanium from that sector instead of trinium, just because there's more titanium asteroids than trinium asteroids. So this one's good. It's got a fair amount of neonite, or I say that, granted we've only checked out like one of the asteroid fields inside of here, but whatever. It's good for us because we can get a few thousand neonite relatively quickly here and upgrade our ship again, which, you know, helps us because I believe the neonite miner ship is actually decent. I'd like to get to trinium if at all possible, because I know that I've got like an actual regular ship that's built out of trinium as a template that we can use, and once we get into like my regular templated ships, those ones are fairly good as far as like balancing between energy, cargo, shields, all that kind of stuff. So whatever, not a big deal. We're kind of just going to take what we get. I mean, ultimately we're going to go to our battle carriers, which are made out of xanium and trinium, so we're going to have to get to xanium eventually, but that's kind of just a progression type thing. You kind of use what you got, and everything. It is worth, so like with these R lasers, if you see that gray bar that's going across the other bars that we've got on our little GUI or whatever, that is our cargo hold. So it's almost full. I'm going to try to fill it up to the maximum, just because might as well, like, we've got the ore or the resource type that we're looking for in this sector, so why not gather as much of it as possible, right? So there we go, we filled up again. I'm going to go ahead and add in some more cargo bays just for the time being, because I want to collect this whole asteroid. And it's a big one, like this is a 13K or something like that. So it's worth doing. It's worth doing because we're going to use all this neonite. Even if we don't use it to upgrade this ship to the neonite miner ship, we can use it to build another neonite miner ship to come and be an auto miner in this asteroid sector, or this asteroid field, or another one, or whatever. So you want to gather a lot of neonite. It's the first material that allows you to build hyperspace cores, which increase your sector jump range or your warp capabilities, and it's also the first material that allows you to build shields, which increases your defensive capabilities. So neonite's a really good material, so you're going to want a lot of it, bottom line. So it's worth harvesting a bunch of neonite when you enter into these sectors. And since we've got 3R mining lasers, might as well do it while we're here. I mean, we probably got close to 20,000 neonite in our cargo hold right now. After we refine it, yeah, we'll lose a little bit to the refinery tax or whatever, but even so, like 20,000 is going to be pretty good. So we're almost at 24K. We'll probably end up with about 25K after we finish this asteroid off and we collect the stuff that's kind of just floating around over here. So the ore that we couldn't hold before kind of just sits around, which kind of sucks. Like, I wish it would auto go into my cargo hold now that I've got the space for it, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Here we are. Hopefully there's a refinery in this sector. Hopefully there's an equipment dock in this sector so we can upgrade our turrets again. We can refine, get our neonite built up so we can use our next template, and kind of do that kind of stuff. So there is a resource. I keep calling it a refinery. It's a resource depot, whatever. So we're going to fly over to this first, and we're going to refine all this neonite ore that we gathered. Now that does take a little bit of time. Like, the more ore that you have to refine at the resource depot, the more time it takes for it to actually convert it into the usable resource. So it may take like 20 seconds or something to convert all this neonite ore into neonite, but that's not a big deal. Like, it's totally worth it. It's free outside of the, you know, resource costs or whatever of using the refinery. The higher faction reputation standing you have with whoever owns the station that refines the ores, the lower that percentage gets. The lowest you can get it is 1% when you're allied with the faction. 5% isn't bad, which I believe is what we're at with these guys, so I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay paying 5% of whatever our haul is to these guys in order for them to turn my 20,000 into neonite, primarily because if we were using just regular mining lasers, we'd only be getting, you know, like, we probably wouldn't even have half of what we just collected. So anyway, we're gonna let this tick over. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. I'm gonna go top up my drink and we'll be back in it. Alright, we are back. So just gathered 24,000 neonite. Feels good. Let's go ahead and upgrade to our neonite miner. Why not? Coos. There we are. Decent looking ship-ish. We need to reapply our turrets, obviously. So I think these are titaniums. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm gonna put the mining turrets back on. There's our double. There are 2 singles. Throw our chain gun. And then we're also going to throw our salvaging turret, so we've got enough. And then I do need to add a little bit of shields to this, it looks like. Just because it isn't quite enough. So that's fine too. Put one there, and we'll put one there. We've got enough neonite that it doesn't really matter. Just kind of increase this a little bit. Because this does help you. I mean, having excess shields like that, like we've got almost 13,000 shields right now. Nothing's going to be able to touch us with 13,000 shields. Not at this level. Like, there just isn't enough DPS from the enemies that you'll encounter in this sector for it to matter. So, anyway, there we go. Throw one there, two there, sure. You know what? I'm gonna hire one more guy so we can get 130 on our mechanics and engineers. It makes your ship a little bit better, so worth doing. Here we go, 2, 2, 2, and 3. Dope. All right, cool. So this, as you can see, we have a larger warp area now, and that's because this one does have a hyper warp core on it. So I don't know what the actual sector jump range is on this ship. It's probably like 6. 5.5. 5.5 sectors. Not quite 6. Almost 6. I'm surprised I got that close, in all honesty. We need to build some generators on this shit, huh? So let's take a look. Generator. That is neonite, I guess. So I guess set this all materials, all blocks. And we're just gonna build a little bit bigger generator. Not a big deal. Can add that relatively easily. Now that we have shields, it's actually kind of cool. So the enemies that you fight won't be able to damage your blocks until they take out all of your shields. So doing that just added a bunch of fucking energy to our ship. So there we go. Now we can support the 13k shields that we've got and everything else. I guess we could also add some integrity fields. We probably need to do that. So yeah, we need a little one on here. And these, they don't have to be big. They just have to, you want your whole ship looking blue. That means that basically everything's covered. How much cargo space does it have? None, basically. So we'll build some cargo bays as well. I guess we'll put them on the bottom, maybe. Put it like that. And we'll make them relatively big. So there we go, 231. We'll put a couple like this too. Cool. It has basically no pitch up and down. So we'll add a couple thrusters. So obviously, like, this is going to be an ugly fucking ship, all things considered. But it's going to be functional and for what I'm trying to do, functional is all I really care about. So let's delete these guys off so I can put a thruster on top of here. Cool. Good enough. That gives us just a little bit better yaw and everything like that. So that's all I'm doing, is trying to increase our maneuverability because we are using this to kind of fly around. Great. This one I want to delete because I wanted to match this. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a Y mirror. We're going to control on that. Didn't actually place it. God damn it. Okay, fine. Be like that. We need it a little wider. A little bit shorter. So it fits up in there. So it can be a little bit longer. Cool. Good enough. That is good enough. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Doesn't have to be symmetrical. Now, you can't place turrets on top of thrusters, so we'll just put a neonite hole on top of this so we can place our turrets back down. Not the end of the world. Like, this is an ugly fucking ship, but it is pretty strong, I will say. Like, we've got 441 cargo holds, so it can hold a fair amount of ore. It's got pretty good maneuverability. Its speed isn't the best, so maybe, like, how much neonite do we have? 8,800. So I'm going to put a couple of engines on the back of these. Boom, just like that. So now it's really fast, so what we need to do is throw... Where's our inertial dampener? Forget what it looks like. It is right here. Just throw some up. Whoops, not what I wanted. I just want them on the front side of this. So now, I mean, this is a reasonably good ship. as far as like stats are concerned. So accelerates really fast. We need to add more crew quarters, so that's easy enough. Just build a small crew quarter like off of this maybe. Perfect. There we go. And now, if we re-interact, we can hire the crew that we need. So we need 4 of these dudes. Hire. We need a bunch of engineers, so it's 11 and 2, so 13 total. Ah, fuck. We're 1 short. Okay, fine. Put another crew quarter down there. Why not? There you go. You happy now? You got places to live? Alright, cool. So there we go. We kind of customized this ship a little bit. The radians are fucking garbage again, so let me throw on a couple more thrusters. Just to help increase that a little bit. And I mean, you don't really need to worry about all this stuff. I'm just doing this because we're flying this around, so like, I don't want to fly around a garbage ship if I can help it. We need more engineers. We need 1 more. Cool. Boom. There we go. Okay. So there's that. We need to increase our generators by a little bit. So that should be doable. We'll place it on this, of course. So fine. Just place it on the back. Kind of like that. And I mean, this isn't optimal as far as our power supply is concerned, but it is enough that we can fly the ship when we're not regenerating after a warp jump. So there we go. We've upgraded our ship to Neonite. It's pretty fucking beefy compared to what we're going to encounter outside of its damage. Like, its damage output is garbage. But, I mean, it's got a combined hull and shield strength of almost 18,000. So nothing we're going to encounter in this region is going to be able to touch us realistically. So that's good. I'm happy with that. I don't think I'd ever use this template again because it's fucking ugly. But whatever. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. So we're going to go through the south gate, I think. The ship also is pretty fucking fast. Like, it's going 751 meters per second without even using the booster. So that's good. Obviously, there's not enough power generation to kind of cover when the hypercore or the warp core is recharging, but that's okay. Just add a couple more generators, like so. See how that does. Yep. So now we're good. Now the ship generates enough power. It can still increase the battery level, the battery capacity after a warp, so you can still boost. It's fast as fuck. It slows down relatively good. It also has decent maneuverability. So for what we're trying to do, like, this is a great fucking ship for the Neonite region. If I do say so myself. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So another refinery out here. Guess the question is there any Neonite? There's a tiny little speck. Might as well harvest it, right? I guess we've got iron and titanium auto harvesting for us, so I'm not too worried about those. So we're just gonna harvest this guy up. I would like to find an equipment dock if at all possible, so we can upgrade our turrets, because it would be nice to get some DPS on this bad mama. Just because the way it stands right now, like, we could totally use this ship to fight pirates, assuming we get some turrets that can do some damage, right? So we just need to find some good turrets, more or less. So off of this, we can reach this one, so we'll just warp there. because we've got a good warp core now, so we can actually reach the sectors that are a little bit farther away. And we've got enough power generation that we're fine to warp around. It doesn't hurt us. We just have to wait for the recharge and the calculation before we can warp again. So, no trading or equipment dock in this one, but there are some asteroids. Maybe off in this direction. Doesn't look like it. Okay, that's fine. I guess we could go to this guy. Sure, why not? Normally when you have these sectors right next door to each other like that, one of them's going to have a bunch of stations and one of them's going to have asteroids. So this one has asteroids. My guess is the other one's going to have a bunch of stations. So hopefully there's an equipment dock in there, because I'd really like to upgrade our turrets. I mean, that's realistically, that's what we got to do next, is find some neonite level mining lasers. That way we can push into the trinium level and actually be able to harvest trinium, because at this point we can't. We can only harvest up to neonite because the highest level turret we've got mining wise is titanium level. So we got to get neonite mining turrets. So there's some stuff in here, that's for sure. Let's see. Oh, there's a wormhole even. Great. But first let's find the claimable asteroid. It's gonna be right there. Make some quick cash. It's probably worth 100,000 or so. God, it's so nice having a ship that can go over 2,000 meters per second. Like, it's just so nice. Granted, it doesn't slow down as fast as it speeds up, but that's okay. Like, not a big deal. 170k, awesome. We're gonna harvest up these asteroids too. We've got the cargo space, might as well get some more neonite up in this biatch, because we could use it. We spent about 24,000 upgrading our ship, which is totally fine, not a big deal. But it would be nice to get some neonite auto miners set up for this region of space, just so we are automatically gathering the resources as opposed to mining it ourselves. We can put these 3 mining lasers on whatever auto miner we set up in this region of space, and it'll do decently good. I mean, like, these lasers do alright. They're not the most efficient in the world. Like, if we found some neonite R mining lasers, they would be better than these, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. We've got 3 trinium R mining lasers, so between the 3 of them we kind of make short work of these asteroids, relatively speaking. Like, not the fastest in the world. Obviously, if we had better lasers, it'd go faster, but it's okay. So there we are. I'm gonna gather this one too, I guess. We'll just harvest the green ones around this asteroid, I guess, before we warp on. Or move to the next sector, I guess. Because might as well. They're close by. We don't have to... They're nearby, rather. We don't have to fly around too much in order to harvest them, so might as well use this cargo hold we just built out. I mean, we spent a fair amount of neonite on upgrading our ship. Might as well utilize it, right? Now with the bigger ship, it obviously becomes a little bit more relevant. Like, you gotta pay attention to where asteroids are, because you might crash into them. So no worries. And my guess is, I think we had probably about 250 cargo capacity on the ship before we upgraded it. So now that we're at about 450, we should be able to hold probably close to 50,000 neonite, or 50,000 ore in total before we're full up, which that's reasonable. I mean, to refine all 50,000 ore is probably going to take about 30 seconds at the resource depot, which isn't too long to wait. When you get more, like, in my main ship that I have on the YouTube series, like, it can hold millions of ore. And when you hold millions of ore, it takes like 10 minutes to refine all of that into the actual resources, which kind of sucks. You gotta kind of like sit there and wait and everything. So this is a good min-max balance. 30 seconds is not that long to wait to get the resources you're looking for out of the resource depots, so no worries. I'm happy with that. Kills. I don't know what it is about mining in this game, but it's just so satisfying. Like, I fucking love mining in this game. Granted, I like mining in most all the games I play, so I guess it's probably just me. Like, I enjoy mining, I guess, but damn, it's so satisfying in this game. Just watching the asteroids slowly get disintegrated. I like how they do it, that it takes out like little chunks and stuff like that. It's really cool. And if you like disconnect the chunks, so like if I mine out the center of this one before I mine out the ends, it'll split in half and like fly apart and stuff, which is kind of cool. I think it's cool. I don't know. You might not, but that's fine. Oh, we actually gathered the whole end. That's kind of unusual. Normally it... Oops. Sorry about that. Must have been hitting... I guess it's the Alt key. I don't fucking know. I don't know what did that, but that's fine. We're good. We're all good. Here we go. Getting in nice and close. So if you're new to Avorion, this is kind of what you do. At least in the early game, you're going to be harvesting resources. You know, once you get some auto mining ships set up and everything like that, it becomes less important that you're mining yourself. But at this stage of the game, I find that it's worth it to just kind of mine yourself, because you want to get to the better resources, right? Like, we want to get to Trinium and Xanian. So where does this wormhole go? Kind of goes up here, this direction. So there's a group of alien ships just warped in. So they're probably Zotan. Yeah, they're Zotans. So we will let the Corvette that's right here kind of deal with them. And if they drop systems, we will go and grab the systems. At least that's my plan. I mean, hopefully they drop good stuff. So that guy didn't drop fucking anything, really. This guy, maybe he'll drop something. Nope. So, kind of a bust. None of them dropped any systems or anything fun like that, so that's fine. We won't worry about it. Now, where is that wormhole? Because I want to go through it. Normally when you zoom out, it's a little bit easier, so it's over... Right there. There we go. Cool. I mean, this ship is pretty fast. 3,000 meters per second. That's pretty good for Neonite level. Like, normally, I don't know, like, on average, if you can get your ship going faster than 2,500 meters per second, nothing's going to be able to touch you. So, whatever. So this kind of took us back up by where we were. I don't know if we're still in the Neonite region or not. We might have to warp in a little bit, but that's okay. We've got an extended warp range now, so we might just kind of push through from this direction as opposed to going back through and going from the side we were at. Kind of see. I don't know. We are at that 3-hour mark for the stream. We're probably going to call it here pretty soon, just because it's getting relatively late my time. It's almost 8:30 p.m. my time, so I don't want to go too late, just because I don't want to keep my neighbors up and stuff like that with me, you know, doing a stream. So we're going to call it here relatively quickly. I would like to try to get to the Trinium level if at all possible first, so we'll see if we can make that happen. Go. So we're still in the Neonite region. So there's Neonite here, so that's good. We didn't necessarily backtrack. Well, we kind of backtracked, I guess, because we're in the so we were in the third brick on this side. We're only in the second brick on this side, so we gotta make up a little bit of ground to get back to the relative level that we were at, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. See what these faction ships drop. How much neonite do we have? 24,000. Cool. So we've already gathered up all the neonite we spent, basically, on upgrading the ship, so that's not bad. I'm gonna go grab this green system turret, whatever it is. So the system, okay, fine. Defense weapon system, I never use those, so great. Mainly because no one's ever tried to board my ship before. Turret control system, I guess that's reasonably good. I mean, it's the same level as the turret systems we've got on the ship already, so whatever. Grab these two. Another turret, two more turret control systems, so that's fine. Assuming that they're, like, when you get the turret control systems that do armed or unarmed, you get less total turret slots, but it'll work for either type. So if they're specified out as either armed or unarmed, they actually will be worth a little bit more to us because it'll give us two as opposed to just one slot. So those might actually be good. I don't know. We'll check it out later. So now we are in yellow again, which is interesting because we have a fair amount of fucking shields, if I do say so myself. But that's fine. We're gonna just push in this way. Not the end of the world. There's no resource depot here, so unfortunately we can't refine all this neonite we've got chilling inside of our cargo hold, but that's okay. We'll just wait. We'll come across another resource depot. They're relatively common. Like, that's one of the most common stations in the game is resource depot. Like, you'll find them all over, so it's not a big deal. You'll run into one eventually. So we'll just wait. Here we go. Going in. It's empty space, and there are pirates here, and this is a pirate shipyard station. Fuck. Alright, cool. So eventually, when we have some weapons and stuff, we can come back here and try to capture that station and board it, and that will allow us to convert that shipyard station into another station type for half price. So, like, let's say we want to build a processor factory in this region of space. Normally processor factories cost 20 million credits to build. If we do it if we capture that shipyard and convert it into a processor factory, it'll cost us more like 10 million. So worthwhile. Not too big of a deal. This ship is actually faster than all the ships in this sector, so they won't be able to catch us. And even if they do, we have so much shields that I'm not even worried about it. So even though we gotta wait 2 minutes before we can warp out, even if these fucking pirates catch us and start shooting us, they won't be able to damage us at all. Like, they'll damage our shields, but that's not a big deal. All that really matters is if they damage your hull. And besides, we can, you know, speed up to 3,000 meters a second. Now, obviously, that wasn't very smart because now we have no battery power, but that's okay. Let it recharge. So kind of the way you do this is you temporarily boost like that, get out of their fire, let it come back down, boost again, let it come back down, boost again, let it come back down, boost again, let it come back down. And basically you just kind of watch your two storages. Like, as long as you've got battery storage, it's not a big deal. Like, you're going to be able to power everything on the ship. It's only when you run out of battery storage that you run into a problem. So no worries. We're faster than these ships. If I hit tab, it'll lock onto one. So they can go 1,900 meters per second. That's going to be basically what all of them can travel. We are traveling at you know, between 22 and 3,000 meters per 2,200 and 3,000 meters per second. So they can't even touch us. Like, they will never be able to catch up to us. So as long as we boost like this and kind of like periodically do it and let off so it doesn't drain our energy cells, we'll be able to recharge our warp drive without ever taking any damage. So our shields are fully recharged from the few shots that we took when I, you know, kind of just waited for him to catch up. But that's kind of how you do it. You just kind of dance around with your boost button. Like, yeah, you'll slow down a little bit, but the time that you're in the faster speed is gonna, you know, compensate for when you're going slower. So like, it's not a big deal. I mean, we're generating energy when we're going over 2,000 meters per second. So even when we're generating energy, we're going faster than the fastest pirate ship that's chasing us right now. So no worries, we can warp out, not a big deal. But that's the danger of warping into empty space. Sometimes you'll encounter a pirate sector or whatever. So there will be a bunch of pirates or a station or what have you guarded by pirates. So just bear that in mind. Like, it's best if you don't have the turrets or Omicron to fight the pirates, that you stick to the green sectors, because then you won't encounter pirates, or if you do, they'll be taken out by the faction that controls the sector. I'm just not that worried about it because we have so much shields on this ship as it stands that nothing can really touch us. The only real reason why we're orange right now is because we don't, like, we still only do like 30 fucking damage per second or something like that. So really we need to upgrade our fucking weapons. But I haven't encountered a equipment dock that sells, or, well, we haven't encountered an equipment dock at all. Like, not only do we have to encounter an equipment dock, but we gotta find one that sells turrets that are better than the ones that we currently have equipped, so we can upgrade our DPS. We should, like, I'm assuming if we find an equipment dock at this point, any of the damage turrets or the combat turrets that they sell are going to be better than the chain gun that we've got rocking right now, just because 30 DPS is fucking nothing. But you know, that's not guaranteed, so we'll kind of see what happens. Guess if we, well, that probably won't get us in range of the one that's closer to the center, but that's okay. Just warp over here for now. But we should be getting close to the, well, we're not close to the tritium, I guess, because we're still kind of working our way in. We'll take a look at the map and see how far we are from the next like brick of squares or whatever. So what I'm talking about, if you scroll out, so like these big squares, I think once we get close to this line here, that's where we're going to start finding tritium. Oh, I guess a faction's attacking these guys. That's fun. Ooh, blue system or turret. We'll go grab that. Might as well. That one is a system, which I guess is fine. Oh, it didn't pick it up for us. That's fucking stupid. You know, you fly right on top of it. What do we get? Energy to shield. Don't really care about that. No more systems, but there is a resource depot, so I guess we'll fly over here real quick and refine the neonite that we've gathered, just so we empty out our cargo hold. We really need to find an equipment dock and get some neonite mining lasers. That way when we encounter the tritium that we're approaching, we can actually, you know, like, fucking harvest it and stuff. Because, you know, we need at least neonite mining lasers in order to harvest tritium. But that's fine. I'm guessing that if we find an equipment dock, it's going to have a neonite mining laser. It may not be an R mining laser, but, you know, it's okay even if it's not. Like, I prefer R mining lasers, especially since we have all this cargo hold and stuff like that. But, you know, if it's just a standard one, we're still going to pick it up because we need a neonite level mining laser to get other tritium. So not a big deal. There we go. Gather some more stuff. Let's see. We're just going to keep moving towards the center, I think. Like, I'm not too worried about it at this point. Our ship's fast enough that we can outrun basically any pirate, so even if we encounter a pirate sector, it's not going to matter to us all that much. Outside of, it'll mark a good target for us to come back once we have some decent combat turrets, so we can, you know, do some combat and stuff like that. Come on, calculate the jump route so we can warp. Great, perfect. Equipment dock. Have an equipment dock so I can get those neonite lasers. I kind of want to either get neonite lasers or find the tritium asteroids before we end the live stream today. But we are getting close to the end, so just bear that in mind. There's not much left. You know, maximum is probably going to be another 15 minutes. Okay, so we're reaching the end of the live stream. So I hope you have enjoyed it thus far. If so, be sure to check out my YouTube channel as well, because we've got some great content on there as far as Avorion is concerned and other games are concerned and all that noise. So check it out if you want. You know, I think that it's pretty well made. You know, it's tutorial based, so it's designed to help kind of give you some tips and tricks and some ideas maybe on how to play games a little bit more effectively. And we cover a fairly large breadth of games, so I mean, it's not just Avorion. We've got Imperium, we've got Path of Exile, we've got Minecraft, we've got Factorio, we got Civilization 5. I think there's some XCOM 2 on there. Cookie Clicker, I guess, is on there too. So we've got a pretty good sampling of different game types. There's some Stardew Valley as well. I don't know if that's all of them. I can't remember, but whatever. Anyway, check out my YouTube channel. Search Lone Debater 7 on YouTube, and you'll find my channel. There's a bunch of videos, close to 600 different ones. So, you know, check that out if you want to find some more gaming content. I've got a bunch of it for you. So here we go. Found an equipment dock. What you got for me, son? So, neonite mining lasers. Got a couple of them. Cool. They aren't our mining, but that's alright. We'll still probably buy them. Could upgrade to a laser turret. That takes 2 slots, so we won't be able to fit that, unfortunately. Same with this. Well, we can't even buy that one, so. Alright, fuck it. Let's go over to this equipment dock. We're gonna buy the neonite turrets, at the very least. I mean, hopefully we find some more mining lasers that are neonite level before we hit tritium asteroids. Because I'd prefer to have our mining lasers. They have a higher efficiency and everything, but at least we got, like, we'll buy maybe 2 of them just to start out with, because at the very least, like, we could put a auto mining turret with those attached to it that mines neonite and tritium. So that'd be pretty good. So we're gonna buy this. Fuck it, we'll buy all 4 of them. Might as well. 79. More damage to shield. I mean, this is better than what we've got, but that's pretty dang expensive. We're not gonna buy those. Those aren't very good turrets anyway, so we'll just warp to this sector. Maybe we'll find another equipment dock that has some arm mining neonite turrets. That'd be ideal. Because then we can upgrade the titanium ones we've got on this ship to neonite arm minings. So once we hit the tritium asteroids, we can get that increased efficiency and utilize the cargo space that we've put on this ship. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we can't. Like, we have neonite mining lasers now. We've got neonite hole on the front that we can attach them to, so we can use them. But I would like to have arm mining if at all possible, because it's just better. Like at this, even this early in the game, it's worth having arm mining lasers because they're so much more um, efficient that it's going to save you a bunch of resources and a bunch of time, because you won't have to warp around through as many asteroids to gather the same amount of resources. So that's just my like the way I play. I like to have arm mining stuff. It just ends up working out better. So we are in the red again as far as our damage, hull, and all that stuff is concerned. So not a big deal. We can throw on some more shields, I guess. Ooh, there is trinium in here, so we can get some trinium, it looks like. Or fly on over here. So this blue stuff is trinium. I do need to swap out these guys for the neonite level. Neonite turrets, so 1. And we do have a lot of these neonite ones too. So like we can potentially set up a couple of auto miners using these base neonite turrets. Like they're not going to be super efficient miners, but you know, they'll get the job done and they can mine trinium. So that's pretty good for us, I would say. Anyway, I mean, for early game, having 4 neonite mining lasers is not bad. Ultimately, we'll, you know, get better stuff as we keep pushing deeper into the galaxy and everything, but whatever. Let's go ahead and gather up some trinium. Woo! First little bit of trinium. Great. So, awesome. So, not only did we get neonite mining turrets, but we also found some trinium asteroids. So we are in the trinium sector of space now. So that's fairly exciting. I guess the benefit of using these base lasers is we don't have to worry about going to a resource depot in order to utilize the trinium. We can just use it right off the bat. So once I get a little bit, probably what I'm going to do is use this trinium to upgrade our generator, or one of our generators or something, depending on how much we get. So we increase our power supply, and then I'm going to build a little bit more shields so we don't get attacked by headhunters. As is with everywhere else in the game, once you have that red triangle up there, you want to upgrade your shields or whatever, or your Omicron, whatever it is. You want to get rid of that red triangle, because it's not fun if you get attacked and lose your ship. It's just not fun. So we're going to deal with that as soon as possible. We just won't have enough trinium to upgrade to trinium shield generators right off the bat, so we do have a fair amount of neonite, but to power our shield generators, we need to have a bigger generator on the ship. So, no worries. We'll take care of that first. Woo! Getting all this trinium. Got about 1,000, so not bad. I didn't actually look and see how much this asteroid would have yielded if we had 100% efficiency, but that's okay. Not that big of a deal. So let's go into our build menu. What I'm going to do is highlight our regular generator, and we are going to upgrade it to a trinium one. So transform block. Can't afford that, can't afford that. I can't afford either one of these, so we'll do this one. We're generating 1,400 now, so hopefully that's enough for us to be able to add in a little bit more shield generators. Just because I don't really want to get killed, if I can help it. We do need more crew, so that kind of fucking sucks, but no worries. We'll just warp into another sector. I think if we go like right here, it'll get us close enough. So we're getting close to the end of the live stream. We're gonna end it here in a few minutes. I want to get into another faction controlled sector, restaff my ship, and maybe find another equipment dock if we're lucky. Like maybe this sector will have another equipment dock. That would be fucking amazing. I doubt it, just because it's pretty close to the one that we already found, but maybe we'll get lucky. Who knows? It is RNG based, so whatever. We'll see what happens. I just would like to get some neonite or tritium level ore mining lasers. Mainly because we've got the cargo space on this ship to utilize our mining lasers, so it'd be good if we, actually had our mining lasers on the ship. So let's see. Need 2 more, huh? I can put 1. I can't really fire anyone else, unfortunately. So we do need to hire at least 1 guy from a station. Which there should be at least a station in this sector. So it is a scrapyard, but they do still sell, or you can still hire a crew from scrapyard, so no worries, we'll just warp on over and get a engineer. I believe it's what they're called. Oh, they're under attack by another faction. Fun stuff. We might even be able to get some turrets. We'll grab a couple guys just so we have some extra. It's not a bad idea to have extra crew. Then you can reallocate them later. Or what have you. But, wow. That's a pretty big fucking fleet for a scrapyard. Like, I don't even know why you'd want to attack this. Like, you get nothing from scrapyards, but whatever. Let's go ahead and warp out. Not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and scout a couple more of these green sectors, and then we'll probably call it there for the live stream. I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching and spending some time playing Avorion with me. If you haven't tried out the game yet, be sure to go get Avorion on Steam. It's an amazing game. If you enjoy space, if you enjoy ships, you enjoy mining, combat, all these different things that this game has to offer, like it's really fun. Like I can't hype this game enough. It literally, this is my favorite game. It's by far my favorite game. And I mean, for a while, Civilization 5 was my favorite game, but Avorion has definitely taken Civ 5's place as my favorite game, just because there's so much stuff you can do in this game. Like, it's fucking crazy. All the different things that this game has to offer, different playstyles, all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for a really good game to kind of fill up some time and eat up some hours on your Steam library, Avorion is a good option. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead, harvest up some tritium here real quick while we're in the sector and there's an asteroid nearby us. Might as well. We're going to need it because the next step for us at this point is to upgrade our neonite ship to a tritium ship. And then, we'll probably have to put cargo bays and stuff like that on top of it, but not a big deal. That's relatively cheap. We can do that with, we don't have to use tritium blocks to add cargo bays. Like, we can use neonite or titanium or iron or whatever we've got available to us resource-wise. But I want to upgrade to the tritium miner that I've got because I believe it's going to be better than this neonite ship that we've got. It may not be, like, it's very well possible that this neonite ship is better than the tritium miner ship template that I've got, but I kind of doubt it. Normally, or at least in the game I've played on YouTube, the templates are pretty well tiered up, so, like, you want to upgrade to the next material level template as soon as possible because it's going to be worth your while. But either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed the live stream today. If you did, be sure to check out my YouTube channel. Just search LD7 on YouTube. We've got a bunch of games. We've got an Avorion playlist. If you've really enjoyed this live stream, you can check out more Avorion content there. If you're looking for a different type of game, we've got those on the channel as well. So, I mean, there's a lot to pick from. It's kind of up to what you're interested in and what you want to learn more about. I cover, well, it's basically in tutorial format. I'm trying to teach you how to play the game. playthrough walkthrough style, kind of like what we've done today. You know, I play the game and kind of commentate over the top of it, explaining why I'm doing certain things, what things you should be prioritizing, blah blah blah, that kind of noise. So if you want more of that kind of content, check me out on YouTube. I've got an extensive library. Like, you're not gonna run out of shit to watch, I guarantee you. There's probably 3,000 hours worth of videos on my YouTube channel right now, covering a variety of different games, all tutorial style. Very similar to how this one kind of shook out for the live stream. So if you're looking for more, or you're hungry for more Lone Debater 7, check me out. With that being said, I think we're gonna call the live stream here for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, if you do check me out on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. I do have a Patreon page. Just look me up, patreon.com/Lone Debater 7. You can always become a Patreon subscriber to get exclusive rewards, exclusive video content, all that kind of stuff. And it helps keep the channel, live streams, all that kind of stuff going for me, because I am still relatively small in the gaming scene and all that noise. So every little bit helps, because, you know, I'm trying to build that fan base. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed it tonight, and until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya.